but if we're bowling here, then we're playing the wrong sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, across the land of South Africa and all over the world, we are on your World of Champions, SuperSport, on their YouTube channel, bringing you this amazing contest of the CSA T20 Challenge. We are here in the province of Northwest, in the beautiful JB Marks Oval in Potchefstroom, to watch the Auto Investment Northwest Dragons take on the World Sports Betting Western Province. It's myself, Mpendulo Makubane, here in commentary to bring you ball-by-ball action, but we never do it alone. I am with what you call an encyclopedia of cricket. You ask him anything about it, he has the answers, not even on his fingernails, but somewhere in the air, just lingering for him to grab. It's the one and only Mpho Motloane.
I'm Mpendulo. I wouldn't say I have an encyclopedia, but it's a beautiful Friday, ready to have a great time watching cricket with you and bringing it to the people. It's such an honor to be here to contextualize the game and put words to the pictures that you are all seeing.
It is indeed, and it's going to be quite a fascinating contest because, as we know, it's coming right to the close. The top 4 teams in the tournament go to that semi-final spot, and both of these teams both have a chance to make it and also at the same time to lose that top 4 position.
So the way I have it, Mpendulo, is that the Dragons need to win today to keep their semi-final hopes alive. If they win today, they'll close the gap between them and Western Province, who are sitting in 4th to 4 points. If they lose today, that gap will be to 12 points with 3 games to go, which means they go into must-win territory. It already is must-win territory right now for the Northwest Dragons, who have truly disappointed in this white ball format of the CSA domestic season. They've been very good in white ball historically, and they've always been known as a white ball side. But this year, it's been slightly different as we watch the first ball.
Here's Buren Hendricks. He bowls to just outside that off stump. It's a good start. Ball moving away. It's going to be interesting to see how it's going to play out here with the ball moving and with the weather not too bright. It wasn't the hottest of day either.
So from this end that he's bowling from, the shorter boundary is to the leg side of the left-handed Ruben Herman, and that's going to be quite intriguing. If you look at the offside, there's ample space. He's got a traditional even field set.
Oh, juicy delivery. A slight appeal from Varane. Worthy with such a good delivery right up front.
All that experience that Buren Hendricks has is coming to the fore. Remember, he was also called up to the T20 side for the Proteas after Lungingiti got injured in the India series earlier this year. So he still has a case to make for the trip to the USA and the Caribbean for the World Cup, and the man's enjoying his cricket. Also a resident photographer and social media man, so he's also looking at life after the game, but for now he's focused on getting the Northwest Dragons out as they now put in a slip as well as a flyish gully to Ruben Herman.
With a start like that, you certainly understand why they would decide to put in a slip and to put more reinforcement behind the wickets.
So what they're saying is that they know that Buren's going to bowl one side of the wicket on the offside. They moved Tony Dezorzi out from mid-wicket into extra cover. Now they've only got 3 fielders on the offside when they previously had 4 on that offside. You've got a deep square. You've also got deep square and deep point on the boundary. So it's bowled to the offside. If you hit me for 4 on the offside, that's okay. But it's a risky shot.
Oh, as you talk about that risk, he flashes at it. He is the leading run scorer for the Northwest Dragons after all, so it's not surprising seeing him taking it on, but this is the contest that we want, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is the contest that we want, and what Ruben Herman's probably going to look to do is, where do I get my singles from, right? I can get across the line and try and play the ball softly with soft hands and take on these 3 fielders that are in the line on the ring, or try and play the ball to the leg side, maybe move across and see how that's going to happen.
Certainly a rhythmical start from Buren Hendricks. Goes a little bit straighter. That mid-wicket that has been displaced is now being exploited. It's a long run and a long chase, and he wins the chase. Phenomenal fielding, that is. Fantastic work. Running and chasing it down.
Yes, that is Wesley Beja, the 19-year-old player from Western Province. If you look at that, Buren straight down the leg side, and it was an easy pickings, like I was saying. You're looking for the ball to come into your half, and great fielding from the youngster Wesley Beja. He was phenomenal. He came onto the scene with aplomb because he, in the 4-day series match, he took a fifer, and he's got a little bit of gas, which is pretty nice for those people who like fast, who like bowlers who bowl more than 140 k's an hour.
It's going to be exciting stuff, especially here in the Highveld. Miguel Pretorius makes wonders here in Potchefstroom. We've seen the ball doing well for Buren Hendricks as well, so the fast bowlers will be licking their lips. Here he comes to Mikhail Prince. Bowls it at the back of a length, jagging back, unsurprisingly so, as the ball moves away to the left-hander, and so it will come back to the right-hand, and well dealt with from Mikhail Prince to end the first over. It's 4 for no loss.
Yes, cautious start by the Dragons in this first over, who'll be looking to try and find a way to eke out a win, and so they're going to need these two to get them far down in terms of runs required, runs on the board as possible. Mikhail Prince coming up against his former union in Western Province. He got a rookie contract this year for the North Auto Investment Northwest Dragons, and he was last year in with the Western Province youth setup, and so he's now getting that opportunity to prove himself as a batter in this format. And he's last year in Division 2 was the number 1 run scorer, so in the Division 2 CSA T20 challenge. So he's got a lot of experience. As we see the first sighting of Wesley Beja, he is exciting, truly exciting.
That's who you were talking about. We were speaking him up as Buren Hendricks was bowling. So now he takes the center stage. He'll be bowling to Mikhail Prince. Most likely that they do know each other. They're basically peers, him and Mikhail Prince. So Wesley Beja with a great start to his 4-day series, great start to his pro career. He now bowls to someone who has had an arguably equally good start to his Division 1 start in Mikhail Prince. Oh, rocketing start. Just took off from the pitch.
Yes, it did. It was too high. Kind of tells you what Wesley can bring. A little bit of extra bounce with that extra pace, and hit him on the thigh pad. So easy call for the umpire.
It's a good start. Warning signs for both the batters. But Mikhail Prince and Ruben Herman, they do hold the highest first wicket partnership of the tournament in 141, coupled with a couple of 50s in that tournament as well. So they know each other at the top of the order.
Yes, they do, and it's been a blessing in disguise for the Northwest Dragons, largely because Ruben Herman didn't open the batting at the start of the season. It was Vian Libber, and it was only in the match against the Tuskers did we see Ruben Herman go to the top of the order and produce that 100 that we saw. That was really amazing. And the last game against Western Province, he scored a 90 at the top of the order with Mikhail Prince in support.
Remember being here, smashing 96 against the G-Bed Rocks. He took on 24 runs in that 17th over, the team needing 24 from 24 balls. He was like, who needs another 4 overs? Let me finish it in 1. Michael Copeland, the unfortunate victim.
Yeah, no, the Rocks haven't had the best of seasons in the CSA T20 challenge, but they will be hoping that they don't slip into that last spot and invite themselves into that relegation question.
Good shots. Opening up his wrist there, Ruben Herman. There is a man at deep backward point. They come back for 2 runs. This is what you're going to see from these two once they get their flow going. But the important thing is getting that flow going.
Missed length from the bowler, mistimed from the batter. He caught that full and low off the bat. He would have wanted to direct that through the covers. But he managed only getting it to the field at the point boundary a little bit squarer than he had liked.
Getting runs ticking. That was a mistimed one. Very wide though, as adjudged by the umpire.
Yes, first error from Western Province. First self-inflicted error there with a wide one. Let's have a look at Wesley Beja there.
It's very fascinating as well as how wide Ruben Herman is standing basically on leg stump to open up that offside so that he can use those massive, beautiful levers. Just getting stuck and getting suffocated by Beja on that one.
You can hear how hard the ball is coming off the bat. Ruben Herman is trying to find a way to enjoy this extra pace from Wesley Beja, but he hasn't necessarily been able to.
He's only faced 8 balls, 10 deliveries, plus an extra that we've seen so far. Really taking their time to just find out what the pitch is doing, especially now that they started their innings in that weird transition of light into dark. Goes straighter though this time, does Wesley Beja, flicked off the pads, easy pickings for any left-hander. Ruben Herman gets another 2 runs.
Speaking about that transition between light into dark, night matches here at the JB Marks Cricket Oval. The average score batting first is 154, with the team batting first having won that 15 times out of 25. So interesting call by Western Province to put the Dragons into bat, but it really looks a good surface.
Oh, that looks like a good delivery as well from Wesley Beja. A good surface requires good bowling, requires good cricket. That's what we got. Ruben Herman digging it out and ending the second over of the match. It's 10 for no loss.
First sighter of the Yorker today. First person to bowl a Yorker is Wesley Beja. Look at that. That was beautiful. Straight in the block hole. Did not miss. The batter also did not miss. Everybody walks away.
Beautiful cricket. That is what you look for. And the bravery to just throw in a Yorker right at the beginning of the match. There's no such thing as, oh, keep it right at the end. It is a rather wicket-taking delivery. Buren Hendricks now comes back for his second over. Wide, opening himself up is Mikhail Prince. Good shy at the stumps from Beja. He's showing that he's quite a fielder, is the number 14.
There wasn't much width on that ball from Buren Hendricks, but the angle helped Mikhail Prince be able to cut that ball across the line. Just landing short of John O'Bird there at extra cover.
He really had to open himself up. You see, taking that front leg way outside the line of his body just so that he can create that angle through the covers.
It's the World Sports Betting Western Province looking for a wicket now. They don't want this partnership to go on for too long.
Goes in wider. Pops the ball a little bit shorter than usual, and that trouble that Ruben Herman was facing from Hendricks in that first over is kind of getting a feeling of what this JB Marks pitch is offering.
Time is running out for these two. They need to start looking for boundaries up front. It's all fine try getting singles and twos, but there has to be a point where you make the most of the power play. You're nearly halfway through the power play, and your run rate is quite pedestrian at 5.5.
Opens himself up and puts himself in danger, and the ball has been put down at the covers.
Valentine Kitime with 3 chances of getting that ball. Unfortunately for the youngster at his home ground. Well, he was born in Boch. Spilling the first chance for the World Sports Betting Western Province.
Not happy with himself, covering his face, asking the ground, what can I do better? He was not in the ground, he was in the air. He was taking that. You talked about going under pressure and for them to score those boundaries, and here he's taking it on.
Palms it up, tries to go for the second time, and as it does, it just slips out. Really unlucky for the youngster.
Just pushing it for a single, and now Mikhail Prince with another life. Can see, can he make better decisions with his choices?
I'm sure Captain Carl Verena will be chatting to the young man, letting him know that these things do happen, and that chance was pretty tough. And yeah, because that's what the thing about this Western Province side this year is that they've been so solid as a team and as a unit. They've carried these youngsters. They've got a lot of youngsters in this team: Juan James, Kitime, John O'Bird, Wesley Beja. And it's a testament to Carl's captaincy as that these youngsters have been able to come into this team and be successful.
Ooh, lightning. Watch out, Mikhail Prince. Buren Hendricks has shown that he's got everything in his bag.
I know he's got his bag here today. He's pulling out all the stops in the book. You can see how happy he is. He's just one of those guys who loves the craft of bowling. Really, really beautiful story about how he got discovered. When he plays with a chip on his shoulder, he can be unplayable. And I'm such a fan of Buren, especially in this format of the game.
Oh, gorgeous delivery. How did that miss the stumps? How did that miss anything? What a ball from Hendricks.
3 expert balls to close out that over. First one was dropped by Kitime at point, but then the next one was a pinpoint short ball nearly at the head of Mikhail Prince, and the next one, keeping him in the crease, no foot movement whatsoever, cuts him inside. The only problem with that last ball was it had to be a little bit fuller. But great over from Buren Hendricks. And yeah, Western Province already having control of this game, which is really good. They've now wrestled control over the game. And the question is, will they be able to let it go and give it back?
Oh man, with Hendricks bowling like that, you want your leading spin bowler to come and continue the job. And that is Carl Simmons, and what a bowler he has been for the Western Province. Left arm spinner, he bowls now to Ruben Herman. Pickpocketing their chances, like you say, Mpo. It's 3 overs gone now. They are in very much lack of those boundaries, as the score says.
This bowling attack for Western Province is slightly underrated, but they've got some experience in here. Carl Simmons coming in, former player of the Titans, moved over to Province a few years ago, has staked a name for himself in Western Province as their leading spinner. Also, they've got George Linder as well.
Options and options for Carl Vereni, and smart usage of the 2 fielders outside, putting us long off. Still more stifling of those boundaries.
And Bendula, here's the thing, right? We're in the Powerplay, we're in over 4. Western Province are trying to sneak in an over of spin with only 2 fielders outside in the ring. Normally teams would try and attack at this point, but the Dragons can't.
How can you, with such bowling accuracy from Carl Simmons, bowling precisely to his field?
Yeah, this has been an uncharacteristic feature of this pairing. They've been quite aggressive throughout the CSA T20 this year, but there's been a point in the last couple of weeks where they've stopped being aggressive and being a little bit more cautious, which hasn't boded well for them.
The questions, the approach. Maybe you're also thinking about the fact that we really could be getting to that semi-final spot. Why are we underperforming as we were performing so well in the 50-over competition? Where has that spark gone? Having finished 3rd in the 50-over competition.
And you think because they lost, the Dragons lost to Western Province in the final of the One Day Cup, they'd want some revenge here tonight in their home ground, in their home surroundings.
Worse off with this tournament. Luckily enough, being a double round fixture, the first round between these two was a defeat for the Dragons as well. So that's even more motivation for them to come here breathing fire, as Dragons should. However, it's 4 overs gone right now. It's a little bit tame. It's 18 for no loss.
It is 18 for no loss, and as you've said, in the last match between these two teams, it was Western Province that came through. Western Province managing to score batting first, 188 for 7. And David Bedingham, who's now back in the county circuit in the UK. John O'Bird scoring 42. Calveren also pitched him 42. Miguel Patoris, who took 2 for 37, isn't playing today, but they still have Ruan Deswat, who took 3 for 23 in that game. In reply, Ruben Herman, who's in the middle, scored 90 or 54. And Renat van Tonde, who'll be coming in either at first drop or at 4, scored 34. So it's going to be quite interesting to see if they'll be able to get themselves in. Province only won by 4 runs, so it's not as though this Dragons team can't do it. They can. We just want them to switch it on. We need you to go to 5th gear in order for you to give yourself a chance of making that semi-final.
Oh, now the new bowler, Mtiwe Kayanabe. Pure loosener, that is, and sure.
Shouldn't that be a no ball?
Well, whatever it is, the Dragons will
that
be
full
hoping
toss
for
or by
more
line?
than that. They'll be wishing for more of those deliveries. Like you said, they need those boundaries.
Yeah, so if you look at this, Mikael Prince coming down the wickets, but the ruling is obviously if the ball goes over steps.
Oh, great delivery from Nabe. Coming back to the right-hander. And the diving Calvareni couldn't stop that. 4 leg buys.
First boundary of the day for the Dragons, coming off of leg buys. Mikael Prince has had a very interesting start to Mtiwe Kayanabe. Got a full toss that he couldn't dispatch, and then he manages to get one that cuts him inside and hits him on the leg. Didn't know where that ball was going, but no runs off the bat though, but it was 4 to the cause of the Dragons.
Unfortunate for Nabe. It's such a good ball to start second off. And really has found his rhythm. Seems like Prince has also found the middle of his bat.
Yes, it's kind of unlucky when you find the middle of your bat and you hit it straight to the fielder. Great fielding there by Carl Simmons at backward point.
That's exactly what Simmons will be wanting the fielders to be doing off of his bowling, showing by example. But that's positive signs for Mikael Prince that he's getting good connection with the ball. Oh, cracking shot, but that was flying into the hands, and it has been put down at the covers, and it is the second time the Western Province have failed to grasp it.
Another drop chance there, this time by Wesley Beja. That went like a rocket.
come around.
Mikael Prince starting to take risks,
Six to
there,
come.
opening up his body, showing the bowler his stumps, which Mtiwe Kayanabe shouldn't be mad about. But again, for Northwest, you kind of feel like they just can't find the gap. Look at Mikael Prince giving himself room, trying to find that angle through the two fielders there, one at point, one at cover, and he still couldn't.
Oh, what a rocket of a shot. That was very wide, very, very wide. Herman had to go very far out, hitting the toe end of his bat.
Yes, if you are a Auto Investment Dragons fan right now, you are hoping that one of these balls will get through the gap, because it looks like the ball has a magnet, and the magnet attracts itself to anything that is orange.
They don't see anything but orange right now, do the Dragons. Ruben Herman is
Finally.
slicing it through. And like you say, after a long wait, precisely 30 deliveries, we get the first boundary off the bat.
Yes, really good shot there from Ruben Herman. He latched onto a wide one. Finally got one that was wide enough to him to cut the gap between backward point and the fielder there at conventional point. And really, really great shot. He waited quite late to play that actually. But so far, so good. Good timing. Run rate is just under 6 with 5 overs to go, as Mikael Prince is on 7 of 14 and Ruben Herman 15 of 16. It's not good enough from Pendulo, but maybe they do these things in 5 overs, so maybe now's the time for them to start building up. But what it means is that in a period where the fielders like to be out, they need to find boundaries, which is going to be a little bit harder. But we shall see. Final over of the power play, and it is Wesley Beja.
It's such a catch-22, this situation. When you look at it, Mpop, you'd see the single as they take it here. They have been taking these singles. This is how they've grown to the score of 28, plus that boundary and the 4-leg buys. But now, the key thing for them they'll be happy about is that they haven't lost a single wicket in the power play. But also at the same time, you look at it that they haven't taken advantage of the fact that there's only 2 fielders outside.
It is, and so obviously plan A is clearly out the window. But you'd obviously look to plan B, is take what you get, because the bowlers are bowling well. Edged and down the ground, another boundary. It's taken 30 balls to get the first boundary off the bat, and the next one took 2 more. So really intriguing from Ruben Herman. He wasn't intending on playing it there, but he'll take that edged 4 nonetheless. Score goes up to 32 without loss, and here we go. the other point to you is, if you have wickets in hand, it allows you to be a little bit more aggressive for the next 15 overs. So maybe that's what we'll get from them.
Very important that not to do those kind of boundaries though, because very you can create a chance where you lose yourself that wicket. So Beja might not be too sad that that edge was taken.
Deep end wicket out on the boundary now. And they'll take a single off the misfield. John O'Bird slipping on the practice pitch there on the edge.
That's a little bit uncharacteristic from what we've seen from the Western Province. Seems as if that little boundary has messed their rhythm and fielding for a little bit. It's going to be important that they wring back that momentum very quickly.
Yes, it's going to be quite important that they do, but the other thing is, the good thing for the Auto Investment Dragons is that they've kept themselves in. They haven't. It's not a lot of damage has been caused in terms of wickets, so they can now then start building. As the pressure eases, they'll find their way into this game, and this over might be that over.
No!
Oh, really good ball there from Wesley Beja, denying Mikael Prince any room to move his arms, to do anything. You can see Mikael Prince is trying to move in the crease, and Wesley Beja is following him with with each ball, which kind of shows a little bit of maturity and some really nice skill to be able to follow the batter at 19 in mid gather, shall we say.
And like you were saying, this Western Province bowling is a little bit underrated. Youngsters showing that they've got what it takes.
Oh yes, that's what you call a really good shot there from Mikael Prince. Really loosened up the strings there. He's been coming down the wicket, advancing down the wicket all over the last 2 overs, and finally gets one that he can send back past the bowler for 4.
You can say class, you can say placement. That was just pure brutality from Mikael Prince, charging down the track. It's such a good delivery as well from Beja, but who cares? He smashes that away for 4.
You can see the message has gone through. They now need to start upping the rate. Final ball of the power play is over the top for 6. We've seen 3 boundaries in this over, and we can't get the full maximum. And it will be 16 runs off of this last Wesley Beja over. We've been speaking about the Auto Investment Dragons getting into another gear. They're finally finding themselves there after the power play. They're now on 43 without loss.
Good shot. Very risky from Prince, knowing that there's a man standing at deep fine leg, but he is able to swivel around and get the angle acute enough to send it for that 6, the first maximum of the match. And what a stylish way to close off the power play.
Yes, 43 runs off of the power play. Run rate of 7.2 is okay. It's a good start. You haven't lost wickets. You're now back into this game. Now let's see. And that's what the Craig Alexander's men will be now seeing is, what can we get from here on out? It's going to be an intriguing one to watch. Ntiwa Kanabe. Quick single taken. Tony DeZorzi flat out! And it is not out. It's not given out by the umpire, but he made a really good shot at the stumps and got it.
Phenomenal fielding.
Everyone's got hands on heads there, but great fielding.
Even I have my hands on head. What great reflexes from Tony Tozorzi. From there, you only have one stump to aim at. The bravery of the call, but he was safely at home from that angle.
I think a lot of us here and a lot of our viewers at home would like to see another angle of that. But great fielding from Wesley, great calling from Ruben Hadman to get to the danger end. So that's up in the air. There is a fielder in the deep who picks it up really well. Great catch there by Juan James, the captain of the SA Under-19. He's been used to those ones that come down with ice. And Mikael Prince goes for 18 runs off 19 balls.
That is not an easy catch to take. It's high in the air. The floodlights are in their fullest bright. Mikael Prince was looking to take it on. He's been looking to take it on. How often has he been hitting fielders from crisp shots? just take it one time too many, and the change in the power play with more fielders in the boundary showing its value to the bowling side.
Yes, and if you look at it, it's a slower ball from Nabe, and that's being the reason why that ball went high. Mikael Prince was looking for a lower flight that gets to the boundary, but that slow ball was the undoing of him. And great bowling from Mtiwe Nabe. The next batter in, Lisiba Ngwepe comes in, really has had a great 18 months in T20 cricket. Firstly for the Warriors, and this year back at home for the Northwest Dragons. Really exciting batter at when he gets it going. Not many in his career have looked at him as a T20 batter, but he got that opportunity from Robin Peterson and he took it with two hands, even getting a call up to the SAA squad for their series against the Zimbabwe A team late last year. So he still is looking forward to a lot more opportunities here at Northwest, and this season hasn't been what he's liked it to be, but hopefully this is the opportunity for him to remind everyone how good a batter he is.
When you speak of that call up to that SAA team, didn't he show off scoring his only century in his professional T20 career? 114 is what his bat is worthy of.
Yes, and I think the Northwest team have struggled. Looking for a single, there's a chance, but luckily for Ruben Herman, Carl Simmons wasn't there at the ready to pick it up. Carl Simmons just wanted to play soccer, and no drama there in the end. And to a certain extent, Northwest have struggled to try to find a spot for him. He's normally coming in at 4. They started the season at 5. Now they put him at first drop. Now that is a good ball from Mtiwe Nabe outside, around the wicket to the left-hander. And just when Lisiba's not there yet, he's not necessarily feeling his leg movement, he gets a peach of a ball.
At the end of the day, the top of off stump will always be the ideal line where you test the batters regardless of the format, and especially when the batter's fresh, you want to test that technique, see if he has his rhythm on.
Lovely little cut there from Lisiba Ngwepe. Another good facet of his game is his ability to get to the other end very quickly. Good two from him. Cuts, little deft touches, that's his game. Really busy cricketer is Lisiba Ngwepe.
I like how he replied after that delivery. So often do batters just look to dominate a bowler after getting a peach. There, still a good delivery, but just using the dexterity of his wrist to just guide that down through to the third man boundary for 2.
Down the leg side, a little bit of a healthier helping. He'd have loved a little bit of a finer touch there to enable him to see if he can't get a second. But that ends the over with a single. An over of a wicket and 4 runs from Mtiwe Nabe. Good one from him and the World Sports Betting Western Province. The Auto Investment Dragons are 47 for 1.
You labelled that as a good over from Mtiwe Nabe. Able to get the wicket of what was looking to be a menacing Mikael Prince. He was cracking the ball everywhere, but cracked it into the sky and into the hands of Juan James to lose his wicket. Hence, it leaves out at 47 for 1 after 7.
That wicket brings Mtiwe Nabe to 8 wickets in this competition. He's the number 2 leading wicket taker for this Western Province team. And right now, the bowler is going to bowl the next over. Is the leading wicket taker, Carl Simmons, with 11.
It's been so beautiful as Carl Simmons, leading wicket taker in the 4-day series as well for the Western Province.
Yes.
Oh, Kylie!
Easy one. Carl's got 5 men outside the ring.
Terms.
He's got third man in the ring, fine leg in the ring, extra cover, as well as mid-wicket in the ring. Cut and safely taken by George Lindo for the single.
Shot is definitely there for Lisiba Ngwepe, as we were talking about it earlier on. That offside now for the left-handers, both left-handers being the shorter side of the boundary. There's more protection on the leg side. There's only one fielder on the boundary on the offside where it is shorter. So if they can get it there.
Catch!
Ooh, mistimed shot there from Ruben Herman, leading to 2 being taken,
that
and
turn.
to a certain extent we've reached that point in the innings where runs are come in any forms, shapes and sizes. We'd love boundaries, but we also would love runs. We'll take whatever we get. 50 is up for the Auto Investment Dragons.
They'll be happy with getting to that
First
50.
quick one being taken. Second
Valley,
one will
fuck's
be
sake.
easily taken as the fielders collide.
Valley.
Kitime
Valley.
and
Fucking open his eyes, man.
and John O'Bird colliding. Kitime and John O'Bird colliding in the deep. One was at wideish long on. The other one was at deep mid wicket.
Oh, go. Put someone
That's
there.
a lot fuller than from Carl Simmons.
Good call,
Easy
good call.
single taken because there was a
call,
fielder in a conventional mid-wicket fielder in the ring. That was
Serms,
Tony
good
Dizzosi.
Serms.
He's moved across the offside to stop the cover drive essentially for Lisiba.
Done.
Tight bowling from Carl Simmons, but singles are taken. Western Province will not be worried about the singles.
And more so, he was speaking about the fact that the Northwest Dragons are struggling to slot in Lesebangwebe as we see the end of that oath over on 54 for 1. We see the next batters to come, and more problematically, Reynard van Donder, phenomenal batter. But the issue has that been this season, his strike rate hasn't been at his highest. Coming in at number 5, Vian Lerber, when he goes off, he goes off. But Reynard van Donder has scored at less than 120 strike rate for the season. And coming in at number 5, with the team already batting slowly, you really wonder where that acceleration is going to come from.
And to some extent, that's I think that's the issue with the side, is that middle order outside of Vian Lerber doesn't strike at a strike rate of above 100. If you look at Mwepe, you could look at Van Tonder, and it kind of slows down everything as Juan James starting his bowling innings today with a single.
He'll be riding the high of that really good catch and the high of the confidence of so much trust being put into him. You spoke about Western Province really backing the youngsters, and he has shown his worth. And here he is now, Juan James.
2 wickets this season, Juan James, right arm off spin to the left-handers, looking for something that goes away. And it's an easy 1-2 long off.
Interestingly enough, Mpo, it might seem like he might be the bowler to be targeted, and because of that, he may be the bowler to strike wickets.
The other thing with this Northwest team is a lot of left-handers, so you need an off spinner. And so, reverse sweep from Lisiba Mwepe for 4. Great shot there, unexpected entirely, but Lisiba, knowing that there was a gap there and he had to thread it in tight, he decided to go down on one knee and decide to change it up and get that reverse sweep down to the boundary for 4.
It was so marginal, the gap.
He tries it again with the same result. Lisiba Mwepe with the 4, reverse sweep 4.
If you like it, if it's nice, you do it twice. Thank you very much. Why did the words miss me? Maybe I'm dazzled by the beauty of this shot. Just take a look at the bravery. The fact of doing it twice in a row, Mpo. Absolutely sensational.
He's identified that gap between backward point and that third man in the ring as his place. He can either cut it, but the ball's going away from him, so he doesn't want to wait for it. He tries to do it again. It's an LBW appeal, but the umpire's not interested, and they'll get through for another single. So far, 2 boundaries in this over, 11 off of this over, so the Auto Investment Dragons will be happy with that. And this experiment as Ron James is a little shaky there for Western Province. Straight down the ground. They're calling for 2, but it's only a 1 down to Carl Simmons to end that over. 12 off of the first over from Juan James. 9 overs into this match. Auto Investment Northwest Dragons are 66 for 1.
really good batting from Lesiba Ngwepe. He flipped the switch. I don't think, like you said, no one was expecting that. Where did those reverse sweeps come from? And the fact that there were two fielders specifically there to stop that kind of shot, still going through, not once, but doing it twice. Nearly losing it for the third time. But the thing is, if it works, why change the formula if the bowler keeps giving you the same delivery?
Yes, no, that's true. Now, Carl Verena going to one of his most experienced bowlers in George Linder. He's only played, he's played 8 matches this year. So, nice little one around the corner.
Good Valley,
There's
good Valley.
no fielders in the ring on the leg side. So it's easy one for Ruben Herman to get through.
That boy.
Yes, George Linder's played 8 games this season, only taken 4 wickets, which is,
Start there, Georgia.
you would say, it's not a great return for someone who's been so experienced.
Yo, go someone.
That leg side with no fielder in the ring, you're going to ask that fielder deep mid wicket to always be running in. And easy 2, great running from Lesiba there. Great calling for the 2. You got to call early in Pendulo.
Very good work indeed. Have to exploit that land that is there on the leg side, especially with the ball turning towards you as the left-hander. It's always going to be at that pad, unless if they dare you to drive it.
George needs to bowl it outside the off stump, essentially. Oh, a big heave there from Lesiba, and he will be caught on the boundary. Nice little athletic catch there by John O'Bird. And Lesiba Ngwepe has to go as World Sports Betting Western Province get a wicket. Ladies and gentlemen, they are 69 for 2. The umpires are conferring to make sure that they are happy with the catch, and the standing umpire pulls up his finger and Lesiba is on his way. He goes for 17 of 13 balls. He gave us a little bit of excitement, and I'm sure that Northwest dressing room will be very happy with his contribution.
He was really looking to go for it. The biggest side of the boundary that he was taking on. You saw how much room John O'Bird had to track back. He looked to take it on down the track. It looked good straight off the bat, but the anticipation, understanding and awareness from John O'Bird to complete a very modern age style catch. That is the second wicket gone, and brilliant fielding from the Western Province.
Yes, in now modern T20, modern cricket, that one on the boundary is no longer forgivable as giving it out as letting it go over the boundary with you. And you can see what John O'Bird did. He caught it, realized where he was, presence of mind, pops it up back in and catches it, completes the catch nonetheless. So really good awareness from the Western Province youngster that is John O'Bird. 69 for 2. George Linder comes with a wicket now, opening in that over. So far 3 in this over, but most importantly, they have the breakthrough.
Superb work for George Linder. Great turn for him, as you were saying, that, hey man, he hasn't had the sharpest of seasons. Maybe you need to just get at him a little bit more. Maybe he's going to prove us wrong more and more, George Linder.
Do you want me to leave this place in one piece? We're not going to get at him again. Linder in.
Oh, Georgie.
Oh, Vian Libba, the new batter in. Nice little push to the offside, another left-hander, and that's the thing about that Carl Verena's trying to figure out. He understands that spin might be the key here, but the question is, can anybody bowl right arm off spin to get the ball away from the left-hander, which is what we saw in the John James
Lads. Good, lads.
over. So it's going to be quite interesting to see, because many teams have had to bring in off spinners to counter against the left-handed batters of Northwest.
And that's that.
Nice little squared cut through to the point boundary. Wesley Bedger, the fielder, 70 for 2.
Good, Georgia.
That's that line you were talking about. Outside that off stump, intentional as ever from George Linder. If you look to take it on that leg side, not only are you looking at the biggest boundaries, but you're looking at the most protected boundaries as well.
Easy, quick single. They're calling for a 2 here from the guys. And Vian Libba's going to have to get on the afterburners. And great running and calling from Ruben Hartman to call his partner through. It is the end of that over. 7 runs off of the George Linder over, but most importantly, it came with a wicket. 73 for 2 after 10.
73. You're looking at it now. You're like, if I'm able to score 10 runs to the over, which is what you'd ideally want for the last 10 overs in a T20, looking at 173, a promising score, especially with the fact that they still have 8 wickets in hand.
I think 173 would be well over par here on this ground. Remember, par is around about 158, but I do think 160, close to 170, that could do it. John James to resume.
Oh, beautiful work. Absolutely sensational from John James. That's what you were talking about, Mpo. Those right arm offies to these left-handers to combat them. And what a pristine example of great bowling and phenomenal wicket keeping.
And the incumbent test keeper, Carl Verena, does his job, showing that he's one of the best lovemen in the country. And unfortunately, Ruben Hartman has to go. He's going for 30 off 27 balls. Look at that ball. It actually didn't even go with the turn. It just went in with the arm. Smack it underneath the fielder, underneath the batter. And Carl Verena is managed to get that stumping. So Juan James gets his first wicket via a stumping. It's now 73 for 3 for the Auto Investment Dragons.
Not the way they want to start the second half of the innings is the Northwest Dragons. But here now, in comes the very talented Reinhard van Donder. Very much a classy red ball batter. He is gorgeous when he's wearing white. Wonderful in the 50 over format. Looking to get it clicking here, and the opportunity with Juan James taking that wicket of Robin Herman.
And they say cricket is a game of opportunities, and this is an opportunity for Reinhard van Donder to grow as a T20 batter. You mentioned that his strike rate is under 20. Mikael Prince is under 120. Same with Mikael Prince and same with Lisiba Ngwepe. The great thing about this Dragons team is that they keep on giving these guys opportunities in this format. They will grow into it, and for them, it's not necessarily it is about winning games, but it's also about developing these guys into T20 stars for the next season and the season after that. So this is a really crucial season for this group of Northwest batters to kind of get a sense and understanding of what this format is. They've gotten the 50 over format down to a T. Now this is the trick for them, and this could be a very intriguing competition for them.
It's going to be very important that they perform. And right now, their performances have been coming up with 2s, nearly getting themselves into trouble again. They were victims of 2 runouts and nearly 3 in their last game against the Dolphins in this very ground. So that running, a little bit tentative.
Vian Libber, you remember him? He has an interesting stat of being the Protea with the highest strike rate in the Mark Boucher era. He only scored 16 runs in 10 balls against Pakistan in 2 T20s, and he ended up with a strike rate of 160. So he'll be hoping, and his team will be hoping, that he gets that strike rate of 160 with a lot more runs.
The thing is, it does it with much class, Vian Leber.
And the trick here for the 2 Dragons in the middle is that you've got that long boundary and you want to attack it. But it comes with a lot of risk, as you saw with Lisiba Ngwepe falling short there to John O'Bird.
But you know what the interesting thing is? In their last game, the Northwest Dragons, they had the Dolphins and 39 for 7. They were in a winning position until Ethan Bosch and Marcus Ackerman put on arguably the partnership of the tournament. From the dust, they were scoring at a pedestrian pace, but what they were doing is that they were exploiting those 2s. And over a while, you saw the body language of the Dragons just dwindle a little bit. That's when Ethan Bosch started cracking at it. The fielding started to be sloppy, and then all of a sudden, 130 odd partnership, which rescued the Dolphins.
So it was a very wild game. To lose a match when you have your opponents 39 for 7 is something special. It's a special feat to do. But the key, as you mentioned, it's partnerships, and these 2 need to be there for the next 5 overs. You need to get as many runs as you can, but can't lose a wicket.
such a gamble when John James is using that arm ball so well. It just comes at you, that ball that doesn't spin. And luckily enough, Reynard van Tonder was able to get bat on it, ending over number 11. It's 77 for 3.
So John James conceded 12 in the first over. He's now conceded 4 in the next over with a wicket. So he's now finding his feet in here and getting himself in. And you can see what the plan is from Western Province. It's going to be spin all the way. And if you look at their bowling card right now, Tuakai Nabi with the wicket, 1 for 9. John James with the wicket, 1 for 16. And George Linder, 1 for 7. George is about to bowl the next over, but you've got Bjorn Hendricks 0 for 8, Wesley Beja 0 for 22, and Juan and Carlson is 0 for 11. And so they've been very good. So it's been an incredible bowling effort from Western Province.
Oi, look at that inventiveness from Vian Lerber. It misses everything as it was trying to reverse the stroke. It runs down to the boundary. 4 by signaled by the umpire.
Yes, we can see that the ball turns for George Linder. That was a great example of it if you didn't believe anybody that the ball is turning. And yeah, just a series of unfortunate events for Western Province. The batter does not get an edge on it and the keeper misses it and it ends up with 4 byes.
Also that extra bounce from George Linder, very surprising as well, bouncing over the bat of Vian Lerber. Now goes for the conventional shot. Goes down square, but there is a man covering that, saying, no, you're not going there. Juan James, very active on the field tonight.
Yes, the SN19 captain doing a really great job of fielding on the boundary. Juan James has shown so far today with an expert catch and also some really great ground fielding that his fundamentals are secure and he's one to look out for in the outfield.
Oh, what is this bowling from George Linder? Another one that could have, should have, must have, but it runs down for 4 as it misses the wicky.
That came off the bat as one of the faintest edges you could have ever seen. And again, we've been praising Carl Verena for some good glove work. 2 balls have gone by him, but he was unsighted, so you got to give him that. But he'll be disappointed in that. I can let you know.
Certainly, especially the fact that the team has already dropped 2 catches prior to this. Another opportunity coming by, though sharp, because I think that extra bounce is really causing problems not only for the batter but for Verena as well. More flight, flat smashed right in between the long on and the cow corner. Look at that from Vian Lerber, taking the score to 91 for 3.
Playing with the turn there and putting it through the gap in the leg side. Really good expert batting from him. 3 boundaries off this over already. It's racking up quite a lot now. 14 off this over with 2 to go. And Vian Lerber looking to cash in on everything.
Giving it a proper whack. Oh, now he has been bamboozled completely. That extra bounce, that turn, and that expertise. Je ne sais quoi from George Linder. He takes the wicket of Lerber.
I don't think that was je ne sais quoi. I think George Linder was like, let me take you back to the garage. I'm going to bowl it low and flat and see if you can't play that. And he tried to play it, and it pops up really nicely for him, Tuakai Nabe. Oh, Vian Lerber will not believe that he got bamboozled by a short and flat one that was dragged down to him. But anyway, he is gone. The North Auto Investment Dragons are 91 for 4. Just look at that.
What you'd expect there, the ball looked to even come back to him.
That's a test match ball. A test match ball where you don't want the batter to score any runs. And you just throw it in there.
It was really, really one. Because interestingly enough, the previous delivery was nicely flighted outside the off stump. That one coming quicker, and the spin turned the opposite direction into Vian Lerber's bat. you'd normally expect that to just slide down for a wide delivery. He really got bamboozled there, had no clue what was going on.
And that's the thing about T20, right? It's about the change-up. It's about the different ball. And the different ball here caused the issue. It may not have been the prettiest of balls, but it did the job nonetheless. It's not a wicket George Linder's going to remember. If you ask him at the end of his career, what was your favourite wicket? He won't say Vian Libba in Poch when him Tiwaka Nabe caught him at short fine leg. So, yeah, we're getting everything. But you can see the experience coming through from George Linder. You know, he's in his bag, he's got different balls, and he's using them to his advantage. So now, Senran Mutusami coming in to bat, captain of this auto investment Northwest Dragon side.
He comes in straight on the charge.
Oh no.
The man at the boundary is way too in front. Pops it over the top. And what an introduction from Senoran Mutusami. Takes that for 6. Hello from the captain.
If I'm George Linder, I'm not happy with the positioning of Valentine Kitime. They do say walk in with the bowler. The man was striding in with the bowler, only to find that the ball was going to sail over his head. And he's not having a great day in the field. But luckily for him, that ball would have gone way over his head, but it's not a good look there. A wicket off of that over, but 20 runs coming off of the over of George Linder. The Auto Investment Dragons are now 97 for 4.
But apart from that 6, it was a stunning over. Those 4s came from really good deliveries from George Linder. He has the price of 2 wickets now. Here's Ron James, who has taken one himself. Playing against the spin. Very brave from Reynard van Donder, hitting the outside of the bat. No chance for it to be stopped. That is another boundary. And with that, it is also a century up.
100 up for the Auto Investment Northwest Dragons. We've seen 6s today, but that shot there from Reynard van Donder is the best shot we've seen all day. Opening up his hands there and just coming through, guiding it past the fielder. And he does it again. But this time the fielder is a lot smarter and managing to close off 2 runs. Go to 103 for 4.
Just need to keep pushing now. This is what they need. They've taken that run rate to beyond 8 runs to the over. It was trickling once upon a time below 6. Now they're just exploiting that offside so well.
And so here in Bindula, the thing is that you need that over of 20 has now increased the expectations from necessarily 170 to closer to 180. You've got 8 overs left. If you go 10 runs and over from now on in, 180 is in sight. And that's what big overs do. You always know as a T20 side that there's a big over coming. You just need to make sure that when it does, you take the most. They lost a wicket, but they still went at that over, still went for 20. And that's what the Dragons will be looking for going forward.
At the end of the day, runs are runs. Good deliveries sometimes get scored for runs, and sometimes they do that, cause a little bit of mistrust between the batter and his bat.
And from Western Province's side, dot balls are king. 1 now. Let's see if they can't get another one.
Mutusami is having none of that. It's going to be important. It's given the partnership a great head start, though, has Mutusami with smashing that 6 to start it off. It's 13 from 5 deliveries now.
It's going to be quite important that these two try to take Northwest as deep as possible. They do have Rwanda Swart left, who is an all-rounder. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities in T20 cricket, and that's the thing. That's the story of this Northwest side. But he has the ability to be explosive. He, as a youngster, when he was at Tuks, considered himself, he wanted to be the Ben Stokes of South Africa. So you don't know, you might get that today, but these two need to take it deep.
And deep is where that ball is pushed for 2. And you know, with these 2s, that might be the reason why Valentine Kitime was so into the pitch, trying to stop these 2s from just accumulating, because after a while they hurt. They've helped the team now reach this 107 they are on. They've lost 4 wickets after 13 overs.
10 runs off of that 12th over. over that 13th over, beg your pardon. You can see that's what they would be happy. They'll be happy with that. Are the Auto Investment Dragons? If you look at how it started, let's give you a recap. Western Province won the toss and chose to bat first. Mikael Prince first to go. Bolden Nabe caught Juan James. Ruben Hammond was out for 30 of 27. Nisiba Ngope 17 of 13. And Vian Leber 14 of 8. The two in the middle, Fantonda 12 of 8 and Senna Mutsami 7 of 3. It's been a great bowling performance from Western Province, who held them in the power play, but Northwest Dragons getting a little bit of control after the power play.
Now they have Mutsami who's out there, and they have these twos, but the pressure from Gideme keeping it to 1.
Yes.
Speaking about having the enforcer in the team, looks like Senoran Mutsami is looking to take that by the hands here. He was the man who brought it ever so close in their reverse fixture down in Newlands, coming in, smashing 11 from just 3 deliveries. And he might be the man here with the first ball he faced going for 6.
Yes, he's the danger man, and if Western Province were looking for a wicket, it would be his, as he holds the key to Northwest getting to 180 and above, or them being bowled out for 140.
Wouldn't it be a sight to see? The problem is, though, for the Auto Investment Dragons is that they keep losing wickets periodically. They haven't celebrated a 50-run partnership as yet. And in order for you to amass a big score, you at least want to have a consistent flow of 30, 40-run partnerships at a quick rate, or one massive one that will just bring it together for the team. Just that flatter and quicker delivery that gave the wicket of Vian Lerber into Linda's hands. Just creeps up at you.
Yeah, this one was a lot more at the body of the left-hander, just across at him rather than the one that was like trying to bowl his leg stump out. That got Vian Lerber out, but it's seemingly a weapon to stop them from scoring runs.
Yeah, good, Georgia. Good.
Worked well from Van Donder. But again, the sea of orange of the World Sports Betting Western Province just constraining those runs. Once that 6 was scored, the boundaries sort of vanished.
You can see why Renan van Donder, a lot of people speak so highly of him. The use of his wrists is really good. Did get a test cap earlier this year in New Zealand, played 2 tests for the Proteas, batted at number 3, scoring 64 runs.
I love his game, Reinhard van Donder. As a fan of red ball cricket, I love what he has to offer.
Yeah, had so much promise. SA Under-19 captain in the 2018 World Cup in New Zealand. Was the leading run scorer in that tournament, scoring 348 runs. So many hoped that would continue at the pro level. It hasn't. He has moved away from his home in the Free State and hoping that he can get a lot more runs here at the JB Marks Oval. He is the second highest run scorer for the Dragons in this tournament.
Oh, good ball. And those wrists again, just being able to evade that threat and even get a run from it. It ends over number 14 here at the stunning JB Marks Oval. 1-1-1-1-1 across the land for George Linda. It's 113 for the loss of 4.
Yes, the Dragons needed a boundary in that over. Western Province doing well to not concede a boundary. So some good bowling from them. They've bowled well so far, even though the Dragons have found a way to score against all this pressure, which is what you need. We've got a really great crowd here in tonight on a Friday night. It is the best time to have cricket on the Friday night and one of the best grounds in the country to have cricket. Just disappointing that they didn't get the 2027 World Cup hosting rights, but this venue is second to none, one of the best in the country.
Extremely surprised that they didn't get it. It's such a class venue, offering amazing cricket, a great atmosphere as well. And the players who are playing keep on extracting these twos. Great running. You can hear the fans now. They're starting to cheer, bringing the vibe to the JB Marks Oval.
The fans are now starting to understand that that's the long boundary. If we take 2 runs there, we're in it. We're in it. It's a good thing. So I love it when when there's support. And if you ever have a chance on YouTube to please watch the final of the Division 2 CSA T20 Challenge, that crowd in Limpopo was immense. Really, really awesome to see that a non-power province finally winning a trophy for CSA.
Coming in from the trenches. Man, it's beautiful. The restructure has its cons, but it also has its pros, where it has really let players who are under the shadow of the franchise system, barely getting any sort of exposure. Now they have all of it here, and with such productions.
And the interesting thing about that Limpopo Impala's team to the Warriors, who are currently top of the log, and this Western Province team, is that they've got a few experienced players, but the experienced players are surrounded by youngsters. The average age of that team was 25. Kind of let you know that if you invest in youth, as we get to see another single being taken, it will reap the benefits. And that's what this Western Province team is, and that's why they CSA One Day Cup champions.
ROI, return on investment, and not only are they just the champions of the One Day Cup, they played well enough to reach the final of the 4-day series as well. They had it, and then it just slipped away with an incredible fight back from the Lions. What a match that was.
I don't think they want to see Delano Potgieter anytime soon, but they might have to see him in the semi-finals, as they're also looking to get a home semi.
Just drifted down to the leg side, but well timed from Reynard van Donder. It goes just for one. See, now we're getting into those critical overs in Paul, where you're looking at 118 and all of a sudden it's not big enough. But you saw the signs from earlier on.
Yes, and you just need boundaries, and you need in this period you need to get boundaries. If you had a good power play, it would have helped you out in this period, but you didn't. So there's a little bit more aggression that's required from the Dragons going forward.
You know, in speech and communication, they always talk about monotony and how it's ill-advised. You want to, when you are speaking and when you are addressing people, to be up and down and have really good ups and leveled downs, but keep the energy progressively going up. And what we're seeing from this innings is rather monotonous. They started and they just plateaued, and they haven't found that gear to really kick them up from those 1 and 2 overs.
Okay, no, and that's true. And to some extent, these guys are trying to take it as deep as possible. The only way they see themselves winning this game as Valentine Gitime, Wesley Badge, everybody coming from the deep to try and stop the second. But that place has got so many runs, ends at 15th over. But the thing is, the strategy now from Northwest is these two need to go as deep as possible. The only chance they have of winning this game or putting down at least even 160 is if these two see over 18.
It's going to be a lot of work with just wickets falling every now and then. George Linder has 1 wicket, Nab has 1 wicket, but the overs rather, they have 1 overs left. But Buren Hendricks, who was bowling fantastically, still has 2. George Linder is a threat. He comes in now, and also they still have Carl Simmons with 2 overs.
So this partnership is worth 30. We've got the final 5 overs. How many runs can the Dragons get from here? Carl Simmons is going to try and bring that number down. First ball goes through everything, hitting Calvarena on the pads. The left arm spinner trying to get across the left-handed batter. He knows that obviously Sunran's going to try and sweep with the turn, so he's going to be hoping to try and tempt him to one of those fielders on the long boundary. But this time, it's the 2 collection agency. They're going to collect 2 again.
The fans are definitely behind us. These 2s are like little scabs. Yes, you need boundaries, but slowly and slowly they're going to take its toll on the fielding side.
The Western Province is comfortable with giving away those 2s, which is why Carl has not put a fielder in the ring on the leg side. They're comfortable that it's boundaries they're trying to protect here. Oh, great bowling from Simmons, and great sliding skills from Calvarena. A little bit of a fun moment there from the Western Province boys.
Working for his bowler is his captain.
Oh, and he sends it back to the return to sender.
That is as soft as it can be.
And it's a wicket for Western Province as Senran Mutusami sends it back to the sender. There's been a tough over, 2 dot balls in this over, and Sen decides to find a way to send it back to the bowler. It's a caught and bowled for Carl Simmons, his first wicket in this game, his 12th of the season, and it's a dolly.
Just popped up into him, but again, there seems to be something with that extra bounce and the ball just sticking and gripping onto the surface, making it hard for the batters to go through some of these shots.
You kind of get a sense that Senran was double-minded, trying to see if he wanted to try push or try hit it across the line, and he got caught in 2 minds, and it sends back to the bowler. But Western Province are 1, 2, 3 for 5. So for all you cricket aficionados, almanac specialists, it's 1, 2, 3 for 5.
Now it brings in Patches. Man, do they need to patch up this innings, do the Northwest Dragons. Ruan Deswart, exhilarating talent. His bowling has been phenomenal this season, especially in the last game. Though he went for 14 runs in his final over, he took 3 wickets for 9 runs in his first 3. And he's in there because Mutusami was just caught in between 2 minds, caught by that extra bounce, and eventually caught by Carl Simmons.
So 2 runs off this over, or for 4 balls. There's a wicket that's just fallen. Ruan Deswart comes in, who's trying to establish himself in this T20 format. Didn't get a lot of opportunities in the Dolphins in Durban. Came here hoping to get a lot more. And is it the 2 central? It is. They're just going to cash it in the bank of 2s down the leg side. And Ruan Deswart, easy way to get off the mark. Really talented young man. Has the ability, has a high ceiling, especially in this format of the game. He just needs to figure out his way here, and he'll be quite a successful player. Nice little pull shot there. It's not going to be a cashing in from the bank of 2s. It'll be a single as it went straight to Valentine Kitime. Ruan Deswart has only scored 94 runs in the CSA T20 Challenge career. He's only played 14 matches and only batted in 8 innings. So it's going to be he's going to be looking to get more opportunities here and make the most of them by scoring runs. And this is a perfect opportunity for him, with Reynard van Tonder in the middle, to take his team home, to show everybody that he's got that. And it just needs to be honed in, given a little bit more opportunities, and he can be as deadly at the number 7 spot. He's only scored 21 runs, 24 runs now in this tournament. His strike rate is 140, so they'll be hoping that he can give them that strike rate with a lot more runs.
Now he has to face the music of Buren Hendricks. And man, have Buren Hendricks' tune been sweet. Just missing a wicket, but he's been going for just 4 runs to the over right at the beginning. He laid the platform for Western Province to be in this position. So now he looks to close it off at the end.
Carl Verreynne looking to close it out with his death ball bowler. Straight at the block hole, and great fielding from Tony DeZorzi. Ruan Deswart couldn't get that ball past cover, and it will be called a no ball. So it will be a free hit, but this time it will be to Reynard van Tonder instead of Ruan Deswart. So Western Province are allowed to change the field, but remember, the only way you can take a wicket in this one with this free hit is with a run out. So all modes of dismissal are off the table, and just a run out is here. But it'll be interesting to see what Buren Hendricks is going to do now to the right-handed Reynard van Tonder. Ball's going to be probably shaping into his legs. You've got the long boundary on the leg side. Quite interesting to see what ball Buren Hendricks is going to use here.
Very interesting also that he'll come around the wickets with the ball coming in to the right-hander too.
Long boundary in play. Oh, it's a flick over the top. Is it going to run away to the boundary as John O'Berg chases it? He's going to win the race. However, 3 runs off of that free hit. You can hear from the crowd. They just love seeing the two men running down the middle. But great defense there from Western Province of that free hit. John O'Bird making sure that it wasn't a boundary, ably helped by his teammate Eddie Moore there on the other side. We haven't seen a lot of today.
Little cute shot that from Reynard van Donder, saying that he does himself have a deepish bag, getting 3 runs. Here's De Swart.
Comes down the wicket and gets a ball in the thigh for his efforts there. Missed it entirely as Björn Hendricks just gave him a length ball, took it slightly away from him, and Ruan de Swart just could not connect.
Feeling like there's no time to get your eye in here. He's already faced 4 deliveries. That's more than enough time once you have 5 overs remaining in the innings. Now he wants to take it on.
He feels panicked. They're already on 131 for 5. You just need to get it to 150. That's 20 runs in the next 4 overs, right? So you just need to try and think of that. Don't feel panicked. That's an edge, and it will go to the boundary past the keeper. It was not where Ruan de Swart intended, but it's a boundary off the bat, and he'll take that to the bank. And Auto Investment Dragons move to 135.
It's panic or it's just sheer resilience and perseverance. But at the end of the day, fortune favors the brave. Wild shot looking for that cow corner now with the shorter boundary on that leg side. Getting the thick edge, no one to protect that. Goes for 4, and they'll welcome that, will the Dragons.
It's not a bad delivery. Not a bad delivery at all from Björn Hendricks. 8 off this over already. 3 to go. And that's going to be called a wide as batsman is playing with bowler. Bowler is responding to the batter. Ruan de Swart exposed the stumps, and Björn Hendricks thought he could get one from there, but unfortunately he missed his line, and it'll be a wide.
If he aimed at the leg stump there, Ruan de Swart cannot come back and cover that. Probably slips through and gets himself into hot water. Liking to play a game of cat and mouse are these two.
Abort running. That's all it is. Gonna try that again.
Well then, I don't know. Normally spin bowlers use that tactic to just suss out what the batter wants to do next. Coming down the track and open yourself up. Fast bowlers exert a lot of energy to get to that point. Not something they'd want to do.
Oh, that hurts. It's come off his arm. And you can see from the batter that he's in pain. Björn Hendricks getting a Ruan de Swart on the elbow. And it's man down. The medical staff of the Northwest Auto Investment Dragons are coming out to provide medical attention to Ruan de Swart, but it wasn't fun.
I'm sure whoever named that the funny bone was making the funniest joke on earth. Nothing funny about that. It is absolutely numbing.
Yes.
Especially it's that bottom hand, luckily enough.
Yes, on the money there was Björn Hendricks. We've been seeing Ruan de Swart trying to play that ball, but this time on that length, it came into his body and he missed, and Björn Hendricks hit him right on that elbow.
Pinpoint. I can feel de Swart's pain right now. That is not a nice hit to pain.
And the thing about it is he'll be needing to come out to bowl. It's not on his bowling arm, so that's a relieving sign. However, I'm not even too sure that he'll be able to bowl if he's in this discomfort. So it'll be interesting to see how brave he is. Because they really do need him at the Northwest Dragons. Most importantly, tomorrow morning is going to be quite a painful morning for him.
It's going to be a long one. But the thing is, when you look at Ruan de Swart, what I love about de Swart is his grit. He has that fight, that hustle, that never say die attitude does he have. So when he says he wants to be the next Ben Stokes, I see him as a mini version of an Ian Botham. like Grutz in your face. I work hard. I will never die.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is for him, if he can continue, it'll be quite important. But obviously, Western Province have had the time to regroup. Calvarena giving his charges the final instructions. The Auto Investment Dragons 136.5. They started slowly. They got 47 in the power play, which in today's world is not good enough. Well, isn't a power play score. But from then on, they've managed to score 136 for 5 up until with 2 overs left in the 17th over. So the Dragons need one final push, a flurry of boundaries, a cameo performance. They're hoping to get it from this man. Got pelted on the elbow.
It's gonna need to get some feeling onto that elbow, feeling onto the wrist as well, but that's why these teams have paid physios who studied to do this.
Still shaking it out, but let's see what Björn Hendricks has for him after that hit. Oh, and straight to the fielder in the deep. It was a defensive shot more than an attacking one. It was, don't hit me again on the elbow. And for his troubles, he gets caught in the deep by Eddie Moore. So Province have their 6th wicket, and Investment Dragons are now 136 for 6.
What great work from Björn Hendricks. The setup was fantastic. Hitting the elbow was the key to getting this wicket, and I love your analysis, and Paul. Defensive. There was nothing aggressive about that. He played the ball to say, please get away from me. It's unfortunate that he middled it as well as he did, and it flew right into Eddie Moore's hands. Phenomenal bowling.
Yes. So that brings in last year's CSA T20 Challenge leading wicket taker, Bamanye Krenke. I'll get it right, Krenke. And he is Dalian. He comes from the Eastern Cape and has found a home here in Potchefstroom. He was with the Paarl Rocks last year, and it was the biggest surprise for me that the Paarl Rocks let him go, as he was their best bowler across all 4 formats. Red ball wasn't his thing, but white ball, he was just a miserly bowler. Handy with the bat here and there, but it isn't someone you can rely on. And so I think the game plan now is, Bamanye, let's get Reinhard van Tonder as much strike as possible and see from there. But if you can find a boundary, we'll take it nonetheless. But you've got the fiery Björn Hendricks. It's been a intriguing over. No ball, 3-4 wide. Dot ball that hit him on the elbow, and wicket. And to close it out, let's see what Björn has for us in store. Straight on the money for the right-handed Bamanye Krenke, and Björn Hendricks gets one straight back at him for no run. End of that over 10 runs. The Auto Investment Dragons have stalled a little bit at 136 for 6.
Definitely in his zone, Björn Hendricks. Weird start to his over, but recovered brilliantly. Getting that wicket of Ruan de Swart, the placement of that delivery seemed like he was going for the other elbow, hitting him on his ribs. He was like, no sir, we're not doing that. And you can see he's in the zone, the way he just caught that one bounce shot from Bamanye Krenke. Oh man, he's enjoying himself right now.
Yes, you can look at the tail of the tape for the Auto Investment Dragons. No one going ahead and taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Also a wide difference between runs and balls, which is what's been the problem for this team. 136 for 6, slow start, haven't been able to find those partnerships or that player who can score big for them tonight. Van Tonder playing that ball from Tueka Nabe down to the leg side. They're gonna come back for 2, and it speaks to the theme of the night and the theme of this team is that we'll get them with our legs. We don't need to get them via boundaries. We'll get these runs with our legs. 138 for 2. This Northwest team is turning out to be one of the fittest teams in the competition.
They are working very hard. And the thing is now, the Western Province, if they also can't get these boundaries, they are the ones now who gonna have to be running up and down, and they've been fielding like madmen.
Oh, block hole ball, slower ball as well. Tueka Nabe. Reynard's looking for the second one, trying to get himself on strike. He knows he's their best chance of scoring boundaries. But Bamanye Glengle is going to have to face Mtiwe Kayanabe with about 4 balls remaining in this over. Mtiwe Kayanabe, also a bowler from the Eastern Cape. He comes from Fort Beaufort. He played for the Warriors 2 years ago. He moved across to Western Province. Has always been a handy bowler, very skillful bowler, especially in the white ball format, and he's proving to be that today. Oh! And he castled him middle stump. You don't need to disturb the other two. And Bamanye Glengle was thinking he could get the ball out into the crowd, but Mtiwe Kayanabe had another thing for him, and that's Nabe's second wicket in this match. It is a beautiful wicket-taking delivery, and the Dragons are 139 for 7.
That was quite jaw-dropping, very literally so. As you're speaking about his exceptional skill and his handiness, man, does he show it. Breaking the gaps right in between. That middle stump goes flying, and what a beautiful sound.
Just beaten by pace there. First, the ball before was a slow ball. This one was a quicker one, and Bamanye Glengle has to go back. I wouldn't say he didn't trouble the scorers, but he didn't score that many runs.
And now it brings in Caleb Silega. Oh
Yes.
man, not his job to come and score runs, but your contract, if you wear the helmet and the pads and you have the bat in hand, you have to give something for the team.
Yes, the Poch boy, number 1 wicket taker here for the Dragons, Caleb Sileka, coming in, wrist spinner for this Dragons team. He is also one from the SA Under-19 stable, but he was in the 2022 vintage with Deval Brevis and Valentine Kitime. He was the non-travelling reserve for that side, so didn't go to the West Indies, but he did play a lot of youth ODIs for that SA Under-19 side. Nabi again, this one was a lot wider, but still fuller. Sileka playing that to mid-off. Valentine Kitime, they were teammates in the green and gold at one stage.
Love the wave of young spin bowlers coming through. Caleb Silega, Nabayomzi Peter, who's doing wonders for the Lions. Juan James, we've seen him here today. All of these spinners just coming through, and South Africa is slowly building a very deep reserve of players.
You forget Imran Manak in Paul, who's been one of their better bowlers. And that one went straight back, and it will hurt, as you can see the Dragons coming through for 2. Mtiwe Kayanabe had nowhere to go, and he caught a whole lot of that ball on his bowling hand. So it's going to be quite interesting to see if he'll be able to continue, but that was very sore in Bendu.
Oh, that is painful. We've seen a batter go down, and now we're seeing a bowler go down. It was hit like an absolute missile from Caleb Silega, or from rather Reinhard van Donder. It came flying back. Good reflexes not to get hit in the head or anywhere on his body.
This game of ours is very dangerous, and it has its moments, and we're just hoping that Mtiwe Kayanabe will be able to complete his over. He just kept on running through for this follow-up, so it was one of those situations where he thought, look at that, that hurts. Oh, try to defend himself, but it's good to see that he's able to complete his over, and he wants to complete his 4 overs. He's bowled really well today. One of the key game changers for this Western Province team. 2 for 23 so far in his with 1 ball left in his 4th over. He wouldn't want to end this night with a boundary, but obviously he's had to let the adrenaline come through the system. It's a little bit sore. He has seen the physios, and hopefully he can give us one last ball to remember.
A hurt player brings an event.
Okay, I don't know that. Let's see. And it will be, they're going to look for 2. They're going to come back for 2, but to ask Mtiwe Kayanabe to field that is being very cruel. And it comes off of the back of Caleb Seleka. And the end of that over And that spell, Mtiwe Kanabe finishes 4 overs for 2 for 25, and it is 144 for 7 for the Auto Investment Dragons.
For the team going at 8 runs and over, for him to go at just over 6 is good work for him, completing his spell of overs, bravery. Now we see him needing to go get that checked out. It was not a friendly hit.
Yeah, he's going to get checked out. He swapped Bips with Abdallah Bayumi, another youngster in this Western Province team. Oh, below that. Oh, that hit his wrist. Oh, that was so sore.
Oh.
I don't understand why the producer keeps on showing us that. But we thank him nonetheless. The team at Pitch Vision has been spectacular in bringing these games. Look at the bowling of the Western Province. 2 wickets for Nabe, 2 for 25, and George Linder, 2 for 29. And you've got a wicket apiece for Hendricks, Simmons, and Juan James. Only Wesley Beja who needs a wicket. Carl Simmons into Caleb Silika, who cuts it really nicely and goes for a single.
Boundaries are the name of the game. Boundaries are the name of the game. With just 11 more deliveries,
They can still get to 160. That's 15 runs away.
very much a possibility here. Especially with Van
165.
Donder there.
165 would be great if you get 10 runs and over. You just need a big over. One dangerous over. But Carl Simmons is refusing for these two in the middle to even think of a boundary. Just cramping him for room there. And all he can do is find that fielder in the deep. We've got that cover fielder on the boundary. Oh, LBW appeal and gone! Reina Fantonda waited so long for that one. It's Caleb Silika, I beg your pardon. He was trying to play it on the leg side. He waited too late. And now he's gone. 2 off of 3 balls. Another wicket has fallen. And it looks just like how it's always been for the Northwest Dragons. Strong starts. And it eventually fades away to something that they don't like. And they are now 146 for 8.
Really bad news. Caleb Silega getting stuck there. Carl Simmons really not giving him anything to work with, trapping him onto that back foot. The turn has been something to really speak about some more. George Linder, we saw it turn miles and bounce as well. Carl Simmons, even Juan James got a little bit of turn here and there. So it's very surprising here at the Highvelds that the spinners are getting so much return.
Yes, they are. But that is wicket number 13 for Carl Simmons, which moves him up to number 4 in the wicket-taking list, right above Bjorn Fortuin of the Lions, who played their game of the week, the only game of the week on Sunday. He's also gone past Othniel Bartman with these 2 wickets. He's now sitting on 13 wickets on the leading wicket takers log. So really, really important wickets for Carl Simmons, who again consistently shows that he's one of the best spinners in the country. Cohen Mangru to face up to his first ball. Can only get it out to the bowler on the leg side for another single.
Big Cohen doing the job he's supposed to do. Just give the strike to Reinhard van Donder and ask him to create some magic here with these last 2 deliveries of the over.
Plays it off the back foot. They're going to try to do the 2 again. Can Cohen come back and turn? It looks like he's running with the handbrake up, and he makes it in the end.
The alarm bell goes teet, teet, teet when you're running with that. It was ringing everywhere, but the main thing is that he made it to the other side. You love to see the man running for his teammates and his team.
And you can hear the crowd is asking for 2s now. Asking for 2s. So Cohen knows it's all about the 2, but this time it can't be the 2. It's a 1, and the Dragons get to 150 at the end of the 19th over. That over only going for 6 runs and a wicket, which from Carl Verena's mind is a tick in his direction. If you thought of a cricket game as between 2 teams as a series of ticks and crosses against each team, that over is a tick in favor of the World Sports Betting Western Province. Final over left in Pendulo. We're at 150 for 8. The past score for night games is 154. But we think that it should be a little bit higher, closer to about 160, 165. Can they get there to 165?
It all depends now on Reinhard van Donder, and that's the very key thing with that final single in the previous over. Reinhard van Donder, whatever it takes, let's get this final run. Pocketing it well, and here he is, striking better than he does for the rest of the tournament. 35 from 23 deliveries. The lucky thing is that he might have pace to work with off of Björn Hendricks.
Slow ball from Björn Hendricks, a little bit wider. Cohen Mungru understand the assignment. It's 2 runs all the way. And he did it. The crowd is happy. Everyone is happy for a 2.
This has been unbelievable. The fact that they've made it to 150 with this strategy, because the fielding from the Western Province has been brilliant. The bowling, the areas have been excellent. However, they are just extrapolating whatever they can from this pitch.
It's all they can do. It's all they have right now. It's just 2s. And the crowd is telling you right now what the answer should be. And that ends up in a 2, but it ends up in a wide. Ooh, that's a little bit tough there for Björn Hendricks. Ooh.
Didn't help that the ball moved away from Reinhard van Donder as was trying to reach for it.
But you can also say that he moved backwards. So yes, his bat couldn't reach because he took a step back and then tried to swing. But anyway, it's a wide, 153 for 8. Reinhard van Donder, most importantly for the Dragons, is on strike. Ball number 2. Full and straight block hole. That's what you want. Another one from the Björn Hendricks bag of special tricks. A dot ball, as always. Another tick in Western Province's direction.
The only reason why that delivery is a 9.5 and not a 10 is because it didn't pierce the gap and hit the stumps. But it did everything it was supposed to do. Björn Hendricks, like you said, Cohen Mungru understands the assignment. 3 balls in, or rather 2 balls in, is only giving away 3 runs right now. Is Hendricks wants to keep that tidy and tidier.
So we've seen a slower ball. We've seen a block hole, one in the Yorker. What are we getting at now? Another Yorker inside edge. Oh, there's a slip. There's a mix-up as Cohen Mungru was always halfway down the field, halfway down the pitch. But Reinhard van Donder is saying, this over is mine. It's going to go down. It's going to go down on my bat.
Phenomenal bowling. Getting 2 Yorkers pinpoint perfect in a row is an underrated skill. This is why Björn Hendricks is Björn Hendricks and so highly rated across the South African cricket fraternity.
International experience, has played in the IPL, has played in the CPL, has even played in the 100. And it's showing right now. Again, another dot ball. That is 3 dot balls in a row in the final over of a T20 match. I don't know when last have we seen in any T20 match 3 dot balls in a row in the final over of an innings.
Reinhard van Donder has really put himself into a hole here. He's trying to dig himself out, but the harder he tries, the deeper he goes.
So here's something statistical for you and everyone at home. When 3 dot balls go, the next one is either a boundary or a wicket. What will this one be as you watch Björn Hendricks come in? It's a dot ball again. 4 dot balls in a row. This one was quick and wide.
What I love also is the unpredictability of what Björn Hendricks is going to bring you. Because he has such deep skill, he can literally bowl you 6 different deliveries and you'll never know which one is going to come.
Yes, really underrated from a skill perspective in South African cricket. Obviously, we have a fascination with pace, but there's also a place for bowlers who can give you different skill sets. Now, here we go. Wicket or boundary? Final ball of the innings.
Let's go. Boundary for Reinhard van Donder. He's been hustling, but maybe it's going to be a dot.
And it is going to be in the bank, from the bank of 2. 2 more runs to the score as a very disappointing final over for the Auto Investment Dragons comes to an end. It is 155 for 8 where the innings ends. Reinhard van Donder's 39 of 29 will give them something to bowl at. but I'm sure the World Sports Betting Western Province will be comfortable with a target like this. It isn't over yet. It's just the innings break, and the World Sports Betting Western Province need 156 to win.
That was hard work, a big grind for the Auto Investment Northwest Dragons, as told by the score sheets. The strike rates were battling because they were simply devoid of boundaries. That is to excellent bowling and brilliant fielding from the Western Province. Reynard van Tonder sitting out on 39, not losing his wickets, but he will be a little bit disappointed that he didn't make more of that final over. That is the big thing here for the Auto Investment Dragons, just the lack of the boundaries, and you were speaking about it the whole innings, Mpo. Where are the boundaries? So it's 155 for 8. Excellent bowling performance, and they've shown what needs to be done here. Run a lot if you can get the boundaries, or just get the boundaries if you can.
As we look at the bowling card for the World Sports Betting Western Province, Mtiwe Kanabe 2 for 25 in his 4 overs. Carl Simmons 2 for 22 in his 5 overs. George Linder 2 for 29 in his 3 overs. Those are the bowlers who got 2 wickets each. Juan James 1 for 26 in his 3, and Björn Hendricks 1 for 23 in his 4. Wesley Bedja, the young exciting 19-year-old, didn't get a wicket, but he went for 22 runs in his 2 overs. There were 12 extras in this one, but a great bowling performance for Cal Verena's team. If you gave Cal Verena 155, he'd gladly take it.
100%, and especially the fact that the Northwest Dragons are missing their key strike bowler in Miguel Pretorius, who's so brilliant here in Potchefstroom, but he won't be available. Still have the weapon of Bamanya playing, but it's with the batting lineup that these guys are packing. Varane is in good form, Jazozi is in good form, Eddie Moore has 100 in the tournament. It might be a very tough order for the Dragons, but this is why we are here, to watch what's going to happen.
Yes, we've got the innings change, and one thing to let you know is that Gideon Peters, who normally plays in 4-day cricket for Northwest, he'll be here, probably even opening the bowling when we come back. Let's go make a cup of tea, but we'll be back in a few minutes for Western Province's reply. Welcome back to the JB Marks Oval in the CSA T20 challenge match between the host team, the Auto Investment Dragons, who you see there managed to score 155 for 8. And now it's time for the World Sports Betting Western Province to reply. Renat Fantona scoring 39 not out for 20 off 29 balls. Ruben Hanman with a near runner ball 30. And it was slow going for the Dragons, who now leave the Western Province with 7.8 runs needed and over to win this game. It's going to be quite exciting, I think. I think it's a competitive total and it might be a challenge, and Western Province will have to lean on their experience. They haven't batted well in this tournament, started off really strong with a couple of, with 2 wins, and ever since then it's been patchy to say the least, and this presents them an opportunity to kind of give themselves breathing room between the chasing pack, who are chasing to get into a semi-final spot in the top 4, and that's what Western Province will be hoping with after a good bowling performance to back it up with a good batting performance. Out in the middle you've got Eddie Moore, who's getting ready to take guard, and across from him on the other side of the 22 yards is Tony Dezorzi. Both are Protea batters. They can call themselves Proteas now, with Eddie Moore getting a solitary game in the first match in that test series in New Zealand in Mount Maunganui. Remember that test series where everyone thought South Africa we're trying to figure out South Africa taking a B or a C team. So we're quite interesting. Eddie Moore, not known for white ball cricket, but he's here to stake his name. I'm not alone. I've got Umpendulo Magubane with me as we watch Kerwin Mangru come into bowl.
It's a good start. Good start from Kerwin Mangru at the ball, coming back in, almost causing problems. And you see already that running from the Northwest Dragons in their first innings already influencing how the Western Province wants to approach their run chase.
Yes, it's going to be quite an important one. It's going to be a lot of pace being taken off the ball. You're going to have to hit the ball hard to try and get it to the boundary. But Kerwin Mangru, as skillful as the Western Province bowlers, he's been playing this at this level for many years now and for many teams.
Always gets that ball to move into the left-hander and away from the right-hander, just looking to adjust his lines to get it in the middle of middle stump, just outside the off stump, to assist that movement coming into the left-hander.
First wide of the game. The Dragons will need to keep their extras low if they want to give themselves any chance of winning this game and restricting Western Province. One slip in toe for Mangru.
Oh, goes wide and it slips through the hands. That was a chance that had to be taken. They don't come easier than that. And Bamanye Xenxe can't complete the catch at short 45.
That must be very disappointing. The first chance given out in this innings goes to Northwest Dragons. Great ball from Mangru, but disappointing fielding from Bamanye Xenxe. And the question is, how costly will that lifeline be?
That had to be taken. It was there to be taken. And
it's moments like that in a low total chase that get you in the game as the bowling side, and they just missed it.
The likelihood of a batter making that same mistake, because it was a poor shot from Eddie Moore, really didn't get to the line and the pitch of the ball, just swung at it. The likelihood of him making that same mistake again is rather low.
It was the first sign of width for him, and I think that's what induced the shot. But still, 3 runs off the over. Obviously no wicket taken. That'll be the disappointment. But Kerwin Mangru, as experienced as he is, can come back and still deliver the goods for the Dragons.
Now really disciplined in his lines, and here they are with those 1s and 2s. But signs are here saying that if you do not make your ground, you are going to be in trouble.
Yes. If you don't make your ground, you'll be in trouble. A fielder there was Mikael Prince slipping on the practice pitches. As those spikes just don't get in a little bit better on the older wickets that have been used.
It's going to be such an interesting endeavor. Western Province have only had one successful chase in this tournament. That was against the Tuskers. A different level of opponent when it comes to a white ball situation, as the Tuskers are right at the bottom.
As well.
Oh, really cut Sony Tazos in half. But the umpire says that is not out.
A little bit high from the umpire and possibly even pitching outside leg. But we'll have a look at that and for you to make up your own mind as the viewer. Too high. A little bit too high there. It hit him above that pad. Unfortunately, Mangru got it online. It actually was worth a shout. So, quite cool there to close out that first over.
Oh, again, this one is a little bit lower, but the umpire still does not agree with the appeal of Cohen Mangru and the Dragons.
That one was a little bit lower than the first one. And it was worth a shout, but that shape that you spoke about, probably a little bit too much and putting a little bit more doubt in the umpire's mind as we have a look at that last ball.
Tony Dazosi really struggling here against Mangru. Looked so good. That looked incredibly good. You only have the off stump showing, but
just a little bit too high. But end of the first over, 4 without loss are the World Sports Betting Western Province. As we see the first roll of the dice for Captain Senran Mutusami. He's going to Vian Libba. Right arm off spinner to the 2 left-handers, trying to turn the ball away from him.
Smart move
from
indeed.
The JB Marks end.
Smart move indeed, like you said, trying to create an attacking option for those left-handers. Vian Lerber is bowling at the end where Carl Simmons, George Linder got such great return for their efforts. We saw extra bounce and good turn from the spinners as well.
Here we go, yeah, boys. One more opportunity here, lads. Here we go.
So what will Liber dish out?
Oh, Vian, beautiful, fella.
Offers a little bit of flight to start off his campaign.
Yeah, just getting Eddie more cramped for room. Eddie's gonna look for anything that has a little bit of width for him to throw his hands at.
Oh, going big is Eddie Moore, not getting the top of the delivery. But here are those twos, and this time the fans in the pavilion are charging on their fielders to stop the twos.
Yes, deep mid wicket coming in to play. The 2 fielders out for Eddie Moore are deep mid wicket. On the leg side, on that vast leg side, he's got a lot of ground to cover, and you've also got a long off.
Oh, that was a whisker close to the stumps, getting a thick edge, and that's that extra bounce, taking the ball over the stumps, but that turn is going to be problems.
Yes, turning into the right-hander there. I just went on with his arm there, and just Eddie Moore making a meal out of everything. But the thing that cost him, as you say, Pendula, was that extra bounce. I'm surprised there's no catcher on the offside for the ball that turns away from the left-hander.
Just giving it into the legs, a quick single. Kleinle is the subject of the batting target of Western Province.
I've never seen a team attack a field more than Bamanye Kletwe tonight. And you can see now Senran Mutusami is taking him out of the fire and putting himself there at mid-on.
Little soft here.
The importance of good fielding, good ground fielding is really important in this tournament.
I mean, they felt that medicine, didn't they, the Dragons, when they were batting against the Western Province? There were no boundaries to offer. The boundaries that they got were mightily close to being stopped. Gaps weren't there. And then when they played against the Dolphins, in their last match, they were victim of 2 runouts and almost 3 of them because of good fielding against them. So they know the value of good fielding. They have to produce it now. After 2 overs, it's 8 for no loss.
Tidy over from Vian Libba, only conceding 4 runs. As you see, that run rate will slowly creep up. Where Northwest are hoping for is for that run rate to creep up to 9 and 10 and over to kind of put Western Province under pressure. You can see, similar to their innings, they'll be happy that there aren't any boundaries going out. But this Western Province lineup is quite experienced. You've got George Linder, you've got Kyle Verena in that middle order, all around the youngsters. So it'll be quite interesting to see how that works out if Northwest get wickets.
Oh, Tony Dzozi is simply not getting the connection though, and he looks like the man who might give it away, the way he's just not finding his mark.
Yes, the former SA Under-19 captain in 2016. Tony Dzozi has really struggled in T20s. This is the start of the year. Remember, he was picked for the Durban Super Giants and he played 6 matches. He only scored 61 runs, to the eye of many South Africans when he was picked for the Durban Super Giants, because they thought they'd have him in New Zealand facing the opening bowling against Trent Bolt and Tim Southee.
Still struggling to get proper meets, but that is also good compliments to Cohen Mangru, who after that wide delivery has then simply found his mark against the 2 lefties.
No timing whatsoever, largely because of the lack of pace coming off of Cohen Mangru and off this pitch. So really, really good to see that that's the strategy, right? Take pace off the ball, bowl a lot of spin, and see how far that can get you. And these 2 in the middle also trying to find their form, but they just haven't found it for Western Province.
And Mangru being absolutely tidy, squeezing them, giving them nothing. The approach coming over the wickets, the ball coming into the left-hander, the lengths that he's bowling are absolutely crucial as well in stifling that run-scoring ability.
Yes, Cohen Mangru giving his best impression of Mr. Scrooge, not wanting to give them anything tonight. And it's quite impressive for a team without their leading wicket taker in the tournament. That is Miguel Petros with 15. He's the leading wicket taker in the CSA T20. They're able to produce opening spells such as this.
Oh, wild swing from Eddie Moore, opening himself up to a delivery that didn't move from Cohen Mangru.
No bounce there.
He is happy with that.
No bounce there whatsoever. If we can get a replay of that, you'll see that ball dies as it gets to Ruben Hanman, the wicketkeeper, which kind of gives an indication of how this pitch is going to play. And the question then goes back to the toss. If this pitch is going to play not as well as it did for the Dragons, batting first maybe would have been the better option for the Western Province.
Oh, that is a sharp delivery from Cohen Mangru. He stares down Eddie Moore. And that is an actual interesting strategy, because if you go back to the 4-day series final, the Lions were able to squeeze his wicket from trapping him in that elbow and trapping him on the hip. And that's why they also have a man at short 45, that short leg. So you even saw he was very uncomfortable with that delivery.
Well, he was shown even in New Zealand with the world watching that his deficiency is the short ball, and that short ball surprised him. He didn't go for it, which was quite interesting. It went down the leg side, no wide.
Just jumping and skipping over it. They're gonna risk for 2, not on the shorter side of the boundary. The 2s are on the other side. But that is the end of the over. An exquisite over from Cohen Mangru. Edward Moore was swinging for the heavens, but his journey was blocked. It's 10 for no loss.
2 runs off that over of Cohen Mangru. It's the best 2 runs, 2 opening overs you could have gotten from your senior bowler if you're Senran Mutusami. Now's the time. And we spoke about the beginning of the broadcast before we even started about how short the batting order for the Dragons was, and the answer I gave was it's because they want to restrict them bowling, and it's the perfect start. 10 without loss after 3. Western Province, you need to start taking risks. This is where you need to start taking wickets as the Dragons.
Oh, I like it.
Very brave call as well to start with Vian Leber. Surely must have surprised Western Province. Not what they were expecting.
Look, he's being able to restrict the Eddie Moore especially from that JB Marks end. No room given.
Oh, spanking shots from Eddie Moore. If there's no room, he'll put it into the room, into the pavilion, and it's a banging 6 runs.
That's a shot in anger there, coming down the wicket, trying to find another option to score, and he found it really nicely over long on. And the fielder that is on the boundary is at mid-wicket, not at long on. We've also got a long off. So Eddie Moore knowing how to pick his spots well. Great 6.
Hitting it against the spin, got to the pitch of delivery beautifully, got it into his arc. How does Vian Leber respond? Goes wider, opens himself up, does Eddie Moore, and he somehow finds the gap through the covers. It's 4 runs to close it off and make it 10 runs in the over so far.
The first 2 boundaries in this innings for the Western Province. Now the train is starting to move. The gamble of giving Vian Leber a second over is now starting to not look that good. And you can see he dragged it down there and it just sat on the pitch. Easy one for Moore to find the gap.
So much pressure, 10 runs from just 3 deliveries. Oh, there's more runs, more attack. There's an open gap in that long on, and there it goes for 4.
Back to back boundaries for Eddie Moore, who now has found a nice spot there at long on, and he's now cashing in. Great 4 there. That fielder at mid on is the captain, Senran Mutusami. And now he's going to the boundary. They're now bringing long off into the ring. So effectively now they're telling Eddie to try hit over again with the spin over the top of the inner ring. There's 5 fielders in the ring on the offside.
Does just that with a brilliant stroke. He is sending Vian Leber to the covers and to the cleaners.
Yes, great shot there from Eddie Moore. He's the field. He's playing a game of chicken with the captain of Northwest Dragons, and he's winning it really well, because wherever the Dragons captain takes the fielder out, Eddie Moore decides to put the ball there, and that's another 4 boundaries in the over.
Oh, stop it, Eddie Moore. We actually want more of that. Over the top this time he goes, and that is 5 in a row that the ball has been collected over the fence in the over.
22 runs off of this over. Really unbelievable hitting from Eddie Moore. That gamble to give Vian Leber another over failed spectacularly, and now Western Province have caught up with the run rate, and now they can feel like they're back on track, which is something the Dragons didn't want to do, especially when Kerwin Mangru has bowled 2 exquisite overs.
Like you've just said, not a man with the deepest of bag as Vian Leber. Comes in so well after the power play, where the field is spread out to contain the batting, and that's how he gets his wickets. He was left exposed in that over. Oh, big appeal! Mangru comes and he cleans it up. He strikes. He's been giving Tony Dazorzi all sorts of problems, and finally he gets the breakthrough.
Another disappointing innings from Tony Dazorzi comes to an end. He's really struggled with that swinging ball into him from Kerwin Mangru. This time Kerwin bowled it a lot fuller, and he managed to get through his defenses and get that LBW wicket for the Dragons. It is going to be quite important, because the only way the Dragons can possibly win this game is they have to take 10 wickets, and this is the start of the 10. Great call by Mutusami to give Mangru another over instead of waiting until the end. And so that has reaped the benefits, because normally when you give your bowler a third over in the power play, you kind of are searching for a wicket, and they've done that with the first ball.
Superb bowling. He's been the most threatening. He's been just there, giving problems to both Moore and to Tony Dazorzi, and now he gets his reward. And speaking of Mutusami's captaincy, he's done it before, where he gets his main bowler to bowl right through, when Miguel Pretorius got his best bowling figures of 4 for 14 in 2 matches ago in this ground. So now they bring in the very dangerous, attacking and flamboyant captain, which is Kyle Verreynne.
Yes, Kyle Verreyne's had a great year in T20 this year, but let's look at that wicket. Look at Tony Dazorzi playing all around that ball. And it was an easy one for the umpire there. And he's back in the hut. Didn't look comfortable with Cohen Mangru, but I don't even think Eddie Moore looked comfortable with Cohen Mangru. In SA20 this year, this man was one of 4 to score a century in this edition of the SA20, along with Will Jacks, Rassie van der Dussen and Jordan Hanman. Kyle Verreynne has been in superb form in T20 cricket this year. Can it continue?
Scored 42 runs in the reverse fixture down in Cape Town against these two teams in the winning cause, did Kyle Verreynne. And it's going to be a different challenge now for Cohen Mangru, having to bowl to a right-hander and a left-hander combination, because it seems to have found a very good stride to the 2 left-handers up top.
Yes, bringing that ball into the left-handers caused so much problem. You're denying them width, and also if you're honing in on the stumps, they're just not good players playing off their legs, it seems. And tonight they just weren't able to get through. And this is another battle that is going to continue, the Eddie Moore Cohen Mangru battle.
Oh, and it's Mangru who still has the upper hand on this one. The lengths are simply exceptional. He's so hard to get away. And something we spoke about with Gertz in the last match is how deceptive he is of his pace. You see him charging down at you like, oh my goodness. And then he releases the ball, and the lack of pace is what actually gets you.
Yes, and to a certain extent, that's what bowling in T20 is. It's all about deception, right? Even in the longer format of the game, if you can disguise the ball better, you become a sought-after bowler.
The crowd getting into it. It's Caleb Silega has a shy at the stumps. That was a rocket throw, but just missing its target. Eddie Moore taking a risk, but he makes it home.
Yes, taking a risk to the arm of Caleb Seleke. Was a little bit deep there on the edge of the ring, but he makes it home easily. Good running between the 2 Western Province pair. And if you're going to be taking those risks, we're in for a very, very long night, because some will hit, and it's going to be quite entertaining. So don't go away, as the Dragons are trying to bring themselves back into this game.
Oh! No, that did not just happen. The biggest dolly in the world, and it's been put down, and it's Kyle Verreynne of all the batters to drop.
Fielding. Second drop, and this time by the man with the gloves, Ruben Harman.
That is unbelievable. It's actually shocking.
Let's have a look at it and see how he did it. Yes, he was on the move. He wasn't set as a base, and he was probably thinking about the celebration more than actually completing the catch. And second drop of the game.
Cracking shot from Verreynne. It stopped in the covers, but the crowd is a little bit despondent of that. Come on, let's stop these ones, let's stop these 2s. But the lovely thing is that they are backing their team. Cohen Mangru is robbed of 2 wickets in the over, which should have been a dolly. It's 35 for 1 after 5.
It's 35 for 1 after 5. Western Province being pushed on by Eddie Moore, who's on 30 of 21. He had a flurry of boundaries, 4 boundaries in the last in the third over. And as we look at the drop from Ruben Harman, that's been what's been plaguing this Northwest team, is the fielding, the drops. Bamanye Qengle dropped Eddie Moore while he was on 0. Now Eddie's on 30, and Calvarena's been dropped on 2. So it was dropped on 2. So the question is, will he be able? How many runs will it cost the Dragons? Now it will be Ruan de Swart, who, remember, got hit on the elbow while batting. He is going to be bowling from the JB Marks end to Calvarena. It's up in the air, and it's going to be, land in no man's land. Just get over the head of Lisibang Wepe, and to the crowd's disappointment, and not another wicket, but to the Dragons' optimism is that chances are being created. Yes, they have to get more wickets now, but chances are being created. They cannot let their heads drop. They need to find a way to get this wicket, and the first rash shot from Calvarena nearly led to a wicket. Much better ball from Ruan de Swart. You can see that left elbow is not causing him any problems.
Bowling very nicely. Mr. Economy is Ruan de Swart. Hardly gets hit for over 7 runs to the over when he bowls. And then he gets those wickets because teams believe that they can get him away because he's not the quickest of bowlers, but his accuracy and the fields that he bowls to allow him to get catches out in the field.
Bowls a heavy ball. A few Northwest players were thinking that was a wicket, but it's a dot ball nonetheless. 2 dot balls in a row. That's what you want as the bowling side. Just get a collection of dot balls, increase that dot ball percentage, because it gives you every chance of getting yourself to that all-important W and 4 points in this in the CSA T20 challenge. Ruan de Swart has got 2 fielders in the leg side, deep square leg and mid wicket on the boundary. And Calvarena finds deep mid wicket for a single, a shorter boundary. So the question and cries for 2 from the crowd wouldn't come at this point in time because they're a Northwest crowd, unless if there are some Western Province supporters. But in Bendlo, you never know. Wherever you go, there's always a Western Province supporter. It's the weirdest thing ever.
They're going to try to outscream, but not here because the Northwest crowd is actually very vibey. Little dimmed down after that dropped catch. Just watered down a little bit. So did the body language of the Dragons a little bit because it's 2 easy regulation catches that should have been taken. But Ruan de Swart really does have a knack of taking wickets, and he does so consistently.
Field change to the left-handed Eddie Moore. You've got point on the boundary, deep point, and you've also got deep square leg on the boundary. Elsewhere, it's a ring field for him in the ring, or an even split, and a quick singles being taken on the square. Eddie Moore getting acclimatized to this JB Marks oval pitch. 1 more ball left in Ruan de Swart's really good over. He's only conceded 4 runs. The Dragons have bowled well just outside of that big over from Vian Libber of 22 that conceded 5 boundaries in a row. 4 fours and 1 6 off the bat of Eddie Moore. Outside of that, they've bowled really well, and they mustn't let that over. They mustn't lose sight of that. How great they've bowled so far. And that's a dot. Ooh, just dropped short of the fielder at mid-on. Bamanye Qengle again. And the ball's just following the man. You might as well let him bowl. At the end of the 6th over, end of the power play, 39 for 1. At this stage, the Dragons were 47 for 1.
Showing that the game is not truly done until both teams bat. Clearly not easy to score out there, and both teams bowling really well. Cohen Mangru doing a sturdy job, and if you had to eliminate that Vian Lerber over, man, the Western Province are actually not in a good state, but you're not allowed to do that because that over did happen. And Eddie Moore is on 31 for 22. And now we see the new bowler coming in to replace Miguel Pretorius in the squad. One you've been looking thoroughly through, Gideon Peters.
Yes, Gideon Peters making his debut in the CSA T20 Challenge for 2024. Last time he played for the Northwest was in a 4-day game, and so it'll be interesting to see how he's going to go in the T20s. In his T20 career, He has, I think, 13 wickets in T20s, and he has best figures of 3 for 28 in East London for the Linyati against the Garden Route Badgers. New signing, gets his first ball out, very easy, down to the leg side. He's also very pacey, right arm fast, so you kind of feel that we're looking for someone who kind of could give them something similar to what Miguel Pretorius gives them.
You see just how he comes, charges at you, that ball skids through the wickets, rushing the batter. So interesting how the various type of fast bowlers bowl different types of deliveries, even though they're all quick. Some hit the deck hard like a Miguel Pretorius, and he is swift through the track. Have to be mindful.
24 years old, Gideon Peters. He'll be looking to see if he can't continue to play for this. Edge! Ooh, no edge there. It sounded like it was an edge, but there's nothing there. But a good ball from Gideon Peters. 24 years old, has represented SA Under 19. He comes from Border. He was playing for the Eastern Cape Linyati last season. And so it'll be intriguing for us to watch. It's a really good ball from him. Nearly got something on it. Calvarena, no foot movement. That's his style. Gideon Peters with a short ball. Yes, young man, yes.
Welcome to it. This is what he's doing. Welcome to the big leagues. Gideon Peters doing a phenomenal job to start it off.
Yes, first he's only gone for a single in his 3 balls, 2 dots. That's what Mutusami would want. Dot balls, give me dot balls, young man. The rest we will take care of. Let's have a look at the short ball. It's a surprising Calvarena at the end there. Just all the pace. Straight at the captain, and it's a wicket! Gideon Peters gets his first wicket for the Northwest, and it's a prized one of Calvarena.
The excitement from Gideon Peters. That is the energy of a fast bowler, getting the captain out of his wicket, and rather a stale performance from Calvareni. 5 from 10, looking to accelerate, but it has been problematic to hit the ball over. We've seen the drop catches being at the covers trying to hit over, and out of all the dollies that have been dropped, Senoran Mutusami gets the toughest one yet.
Drama happening here at the university end. First it was the short ball, and then it was the one that was a lot fuller, and it was hit straight to the captain of the Dragons, Senoran Mutusami, who is safe as houses. Another breakthrough for the Dragons. I was going to say that Calvarena is the key wicket in this thing. They've now removed Tony DeZorzi, who's an experienced player. They've removed Calvarena, and now you come into this middle order of a little bit of inexperience. John O'Bird, 23 years of age, hasn't played a lot of T20 cricket. He also was injured last season in the CSA T20 challenge. He is the one with a very high ceiling. But you also have Valentine Kitime, 20 years old, in this middle order. You've also got Jan Juan James, 19 years old. Can they carry this team through? And yes, you'll then say, but Paul, there's George Linder. I know there's George Linder, but this Dragons team will be hoping to expose the underbelly, this inexperienced batting lineup, to give themselves a chance at this game. Here comes Gideon Peters. And it's given out! He's on a hat-trick, this man! He's taken 2 and 2. Gideon Peters with the best over you could ever want in a debut over for any team. 2 and 2, and John O'Bird has to go back, and Western Province are 40 for 3.
Getting exposed. Gideon Peters is pumped up. You can see his heart palpitates through his shirt. He is rushing on the adrenaline, the accuracy, bowling it straight. They say when the bowler's new, when the batter's new, make sure.
You have it on the money. He got it on the money. On the money. You could question it going down leg there a little bit, but what a ball. Pace is pace is pace, and the pace of Gideon Peters is having us question, where has he been the entire season?
Here he is now, and he is on a hat-trick with one more ball to go.
Valentine Kitime coming in, and it's a hat-trick ball. The stadium announcer is going to ask people to clap. So, I don't know if you're at your home. Are you going to clap in for the man on debut? Can he get a hat-trick in his CSA T20 debut? Well, we've got this ball to find out. Valentine Kitime has come in. Young man, born in Potchefstroom, went to Cornwall Hill High. Played in SA Under-19 World Cup in 2022. He's now facing a hat-trick ball at the JB Marks Oval from Gideon Peters. Let's see what he can do. Full and straight. Ooh, looking for that edge. And but it's a dot ball. End of a great over. 1 run, 2 wickets. Gideon Peters, where have you been?
Exciting stuff from Gideon Peters. What an over. Taking 2 wickets and just shifted the momentum to the Dragons side. It's 40 for 3 now. It's taking 2 wickets in that over back to back. And what a feeling it's going to be having the whole crowd backing you, having the whole crowd wanting you to do well.
And with that over, how the tables have turned. Let's have a look at that Jonathan Bird dismissal for Gideon Peters. The question you could have asked is whether it pitched outside leg, but many people will say it pitched in line with leg and went straight on. Jono Bird had no chance.
Now the pressure lies on Edward Moore a little bit. He's the one who's looked to enforce. Will he risk it and take it on against Ron de Swart, who has a knack of taking wickets caught on the outfield?
Run rate required is 8.9. The current run rate is 5.7. Ron de Swart from the JB Marks Oval. Still no width. They're going to come for the single and test the arm of Caleb Seleka. And this time, Caleb Seleka could not pull the trigger. The gun was still in the holster, and he didn't know what to do with it. Couldn't find it.
Very sharp single from Eddie Moore, but exactly what Ron de Swart will do. Squeeze you off those runs. No width, no length, just giving you nothing. But somehow Edward Moore was able to get a run. And Valentine Kitime now needs to deal with the fire because both ends are bowling well.
So Valentine Kitime is in his second season in domestic professional cricket. Last season he played for the Paarl Rocks. This season he's now back with his home franchise, the Western Province. A slip from Ron de Swart, but no run there, just another dot ball. Kitime finding Vian Libba on the square. Valentine Kitime, from a batting perspective, has only managed 53 runs in the CSA T20 Challenge career. His high score is 20, and that was against the Warriors earlier this year. So a lot of promise for this kid. A lot has been given to him, an opportunity to score more runs. A lot of an experience here as well. That's up in the air, an uppercut. Bamanya Dangler again letting it drop in front of him. The crowd's not happy with him, but his teammates are cheering him on. This ball keeps on finding Bamanya Dangler tonight.
He's under pressure. He's not having a great night in the field, but there was nothing wrong there. Ball is quite deep. The crowd is saying you should have run in. The coach saying you should have run in. Do you risk giving away 4 runs or do you take the wickets?
He's not a loved man tonight, but wait until he bowls because they're going to love him when he bowls.
Arguably has the ball of the tournament, cracking and breaking a stump in half.
There's another short ball from Ron de Swart. This time, our umpire says it's 1 for the over. But most importantly, Mpendulo, what is it? It's a dot ball. We want dot balls if you're a Northwest Dragon supporter.
It's a big win for that. De Swart will give you many of those. Probably surprised Eddie Moore with that bouncer. Normally makes you play in front of the foot. Just pushing him back and again showing a little bit of discomfort. It is more on the short ball.
And another dot ball. from the man who could also play rugby. He is one of a few, 12 players who have represented South Africa in SA Schools cricket and SA Schools rugby. The other one of those, you won't believe, or maybe you will, was Herschel Gibbs.
Surprise, surprise, Mr. 175.
And he says that AB de Villiers was the one who helped him make the decision between rugby and cricket, and AB told him to pick cricket. In the block hole, and he's disappointed with that, but they'll take the single there to end that over. Another over of 2 runs here. We're dealing in twos, but from the bowling side, it's the end of the 8th over. It's 43 for 3, and the Dragons are starting to get control of this innings.
The required run rate now is creeping up to 10 runs to the over. They need 113 from 12. There's no cloud in the sky, but a good indication of where you should be is your DLS par score. You should be on around 67, but as we take a look here, they're on 43. They've lost those 3 wickets, which will be the biggest bane of their batting order right now. Edward Moore trying so hard to keep it together as the only man in double figures because of the man with the ball right now. Gideon Peters, who's breathing fire like a dragon.
From the university. Gideon Peters wasn't breathing fire, but it's a single to Eddie Moore, and Eddie gets to the safe side of the crease, leaving Valentine Gitime the opportunity to take his team home.
Ooh, it's either an opportunity for him to take his team home or an opportunity for Gideon Peters to resurrect and redeem his hat-trick delivery ball.
You're going to need one of these youngsters sometime now for Western Province to take a step up and show that they are comfortable in this format. Obviously, in the 50-over format, you can leave a lot of balls, you can play at your own pace, and they are naturally aggressive, and that's why they're in the side. That's a beautiful shot from Valentine Gitime, driven all the way to the cover boundary for 4. Played it quite late, it seems, but a good boundary nonetheless, a much needed boundary for Western Province.
Somehow piercing the gap. It seemed as if the game just froze for a moment after he played that shot. No one patrolling the cover boundary. Power play is over, but Senoran Mususami is extremely attacking with only 3 fielders outside and getting exposed there.
Right? Okay, open stance, just played it under his eyes, played it quite late. Next ball from Gideon Peters, another tested Caleb Seleka, and the gun is still in the holster. He couldn't pull the trigger again, and it cost his team a single.
Seleka just a little bit slippery. Want to redeem all of the runs given away with his bowling. 106 to win.
And that brings up the 50 for the World Sports Betting Western Province. They've taken a bet as Western Province on these youngsters, and it's come right in the One Day Cup. It's come nearly right in the 4-day series, and it's been a great season for them. But the T20 hasn't been that, but they're still in the semi-final hunt. They just need to try and find a way to push everyone else away from that 4th spot. Dot ball, really important, especially after the big start to this over 1-4-2. You already have a boundary in this over as Western Province, so you already have 7 runs off this over. Can you cash in on a little bit more? But the trick to this, Mbendule, is get a boundary and get singles. That gives you close to 9 to 10 runs and over, and that's how you can rebuild this thing. They already have a boundary, they already have a 2 in there. If they can get a single from the next 2 balls, that's 9 runs and over. They go to the next bowler, and that's what they should be saying to each other. And there's another opportunity for 2. Kitima's run the 1 first, and they get it really nicely to Cohen Mangru in the deep, and that's what Eddie Moore and Valentine Kitima should be planning.
It shows you the value of what the Dragons were doing in the first innings. Those 2s now, they were the accumulation that led to this target that they are chasing. They can't reinvent the same thing here, can the Western Province? And you can see they've actually placed a man inside the ring in the leg side to try and prevent that at mid-on.
swing and a miss there to end that over from Gideon Peters. It is 9 off of that over, and that ends the 9th over. It's 52 for 3. The Western Province, where World Sports Betting Western Province need 104 to win of 66 balls.
Phenomenal starts for Gideon Peters here. Both overs, really good job. Gave away 4 runs, but you'd expect those twos to happen here, given the dimensions of the ground. But as you take a look at how it actually sums up, 5 runs to the over for his 2 wickets. Cohen Mangru setting the platform brilliantly at the top. The real true blemish in this entire innings is that 22-run over from Vian Lerber, which makes it seem as if Western Province are in it. But to be very honest, the Dragons have quite been on top for quite a large number of this game.
And here comes the joker in the pack for the Northwest Cricket. He is their star man, their best player, their all-round talent. Senran Mutusami, Protea himself, 4 test cap. Hasn't been able to make a name for himself in the white ball, but he's still a very good. Pretoria Capitals used him a lot over the past 2 seasons. We're hoping to get some wickets here tonight.
Wait.
Reverse sweep, and Kitime was halfway down the wicket when Gideon Peters made a mess of that fielding, and that's something that's going to be irritating the coaches of the Northwest. These little long barrier misses that we've seen tonight, over and above the missed catches and the drop catches, but the ground fielding hasn't been great too.
The problem is those little misfields also pile up as little extras which don't count as extras.
Mutusami to Kitime.
1.
Sweep shot into the deep. They're going to run for 2. No, they're not. Great calling between the two to send them back, but even more impressive fielding from Mikael Prince in the deep.
Phenomenal fielder. He's a wicket keeper by trade, which means that he's going to have good hands and he's going to have very good springy feet. He's taken great catches and great fielding efforts as Mikael Prince.
Yes. 3rd man in the ring, fine leg in the ring as catching. Reverse sweep from Eddie Moore, but it only results in a single.
Mangwepa played those reverse sweeps to absolute perfection, getting a couple of boundaries, really breaking it loose for the Dragons when they needed it the most. Right now, those boundaries are crucial.
Right on.
Great fielding from Vian Lerber on the square. That's wide and pushed to the deep. Run to swat the fielder, having to throw in really nicely, just the 1.
Slowly and slowly. Now they're understanding what needs to be done here. Allow yourself to soak up the pressure because the Dragons are bowling really well. Eventually the cracks will come as they start hunting for wickets.
Just waiting for that rash shot, that shot in anger, the shot where the batter feels the pressure. This could be it, because no boundary off this over just yet. That's up in the air and draw. Just lands in front of Gideon Peters on the square. A mistimed reverse sweep. He's been trying that shot all over, but this time he can't get it through. Luckily for him, it drops in front of the fielder, and that ends the 10th over. 56 for 3. 100 is needed to win off of 10 overs. So 100 off 60.
Those balls are catching up to Eddie Moore's score. He's been on the 30s for a while now. And when you take a look, trying to go fancy. Gideon Peters just deciding, let's stop that before it trickles through.
A bit of a top edge there off of the bat of Eddie Moore. A little bit more, and if it came out of the middle, if it came out a little bit lower there, he probably would be walking back. So luckily for him, he managed to get that top edge and Gideon Peters on his knees, just not knowing what to do. But here we go. CSA T20 Challenge, bowler of the season, top wicket taker last year, Bamanye Nkainqe, bowling to Valentine Kitime.
Starts with one down the leg. Great take from Ruben Herman. Man, he's going to look back at that dropped catch, but at least the man he dropped is gone now.
These two were teammates last season in the Paul Rocks. And so it's going to be quite interesting to see if Bamanye has picked up anything or if Valentine Gitime picked up anything from them bowling to each other in the nets. So quite an intriguing battle to see. Old head against the youngster.
And the lens are really good here from Klein. Surprisingly, a little bit underrated. It's pretty good, Klein, when you watch him, and he does his job very decently.
Military medium, wicket to wicket, but he's also got the ability to show you different types of balls. You don't need a full bag like Ben Hendricks and Cohen Mangru. You just need a few change-ups here and there, and he's one of the best change-up bowlers we have in the country.
The lens are just exceptional.
Oh, here's another misfield drop. Oh my word.
Looking to go for a single, but then those dropped fielding chances again Mpo all the time, giving them a little bit of extra runs here for the Western Province.
Yes. If I'm Craig Alexander, all in my notes is ground fielding. Missed chances. Because even the last over, Valentine Gitime was halfway down the wicket when he realized that Gideon Peters wasn't going to collect the ball. Had he collected was Caleb Seleka. Had he collected the ball, he would have been out. Even in this one with Cohen Mangru, you catch and you throw, you're in. And that's why we do the drills in training, to be able to recognize for these moments. But it's not happening for the Dragons tonight.
It's the big pressure moments that count. And here they are.
There's
coming
another
back
chance.
For two. Lightning hands from Ruben Herman. However, they make it back home.
They do make it back home. Good throw from Ruan de Swart to give his keeper a chance at running them out. And that's going to be the story for tonight, for these final 10 overs. We won't see a lot of boundaries from these two. This bowling attack from the Northwest Dragons are really good. Look at this throw from Ruan de Swart. His left elbow must be paining, but man, his right arm is working.
Hasn't showed any signs of that left elbow being painful. Bamanya Kleinle just drops it a little bit shorter, but there is protection in. Ruan de Swart does a phenomenal job in the deep to stop that. He's throwing himself everywhere. A complete all-rounder.
Saving 2 runs there for his team. Good fielding. Good backing up by Caleb Seleka as well, right? And just 2 runs coming off of that. 6 runs off of this Bamanye Kleinle Opa. The thing for him is to not concede a boundary at this point in time.
And he really is doing well. This time deciding to clean up his own job, saying you are only going to get 1 run. And what a good throw, him being off balance as well.
There's one final ball of this over. He's conceded 7. You can see he looks like a man who hasn't bowled a lot of overs in this tournament. But always the first over of a match is you feeling your body out, feeling everything out, trying to see if you still have the balls that you can bowl. The next 3 overs are for you to be able to do your work. And so that's going to be quite crucial for him, because Mutusami is going to look to him, especially with Cohen Mangru being bowled 3 overs already.
And it helps that he hasn't gone for many runs in his first over, Bamanya Kleinle. And he closes it off not too well, signaled wide on length.
And that's the thing with Bamanya's bowling, is that you can get that short ball and it can rise. And he always had that in his armory. Just missed his length there, and it just trampolined over the batsman's head.
Doesn't help also with the extra spongy bounce that this JB Marks pitch seems to be giving. It was evidenced by the spinners, now evidenced by this. Even Ruan de Swart getting one to really climb up. Oh, going for a wild swing, some feet movement there from Valentine Gitime to open up room onto the offside. It ends the over with a swing and a miss. It's 64 for 3, needing 92 to win.
Yes, glove change for Eddie Moore, but also with a message from Coach Nakadin. Just getting them something to think about for the next 9 overs. They need 92 off of 54 balls. Duckworth Lewis par, if you're thinking about it as you're trying to figure out where they should be, Duckworth Lewis says after this over, the 12th over, they should be on 86.
Quite a fair bit behind. The partnership 24 from 27 runs, and Eddie Moore really the only person shining through. Valentine Kitima is struggling to go away and score, still needing 92 to win from 54. Those balls are really dwindling.
Yes, it's poised for an exciting finish, so don't go away, because if the Dragons manage to get a win here, it's going to be some entertaining cricket. And also on the other side, if World Sports Betting Western Province get through and get the W, it's going to be another late drama type filled game, which is what we've seen in this T20 tournament so far.
Western Province are not short of dramatic finishes.
Keep it, bitch!
They run in for 2 here.
Oh.
Eventually looking easier than what it was.
Boy, nice,
so
Betcho.
big is the leg side.
Run out loading here, boys.
Yes, you're always going to take 2 on the leg side, especially if you've got a left hand. If you're bowling to the left hand and you're a right, and you're a right arm off spinner.
Run out loading here, boys. It's close here.
It's going to be a struggle for you to defend, to protect that leg side.
Looks to open wild. That's what I was just thinking right
Beautiful
now. Yes, you can try and stop the 2s by coming in a little bit closer in the ring and really attacking the ball. But as we saw in the previous innings, when the batter decides to take you on, they can easily climb over the top.
Yes, Eddie Moore 5 runs away from his milestone.
Here we go, Sino. Here we go, yeah.
For
1
Western
year.
Province.
Going wild with it. Valentine Kitima is really not having a good time. Hesitates on coming for the second run, but they're able to complete the second. It's going to be a game of fitness. He's already crouching, looking to stretch Kitima. This is not the time. There are still 51 deliveries. If they need to all be 2s, he needs to be able to run all of them.
1 dot here.
And that's the
1
name
dot
of the
away
game
here.
today. It's just running in between the wickets. Run smartly, run well.
Oh my
Looking
word!
to swing wild, running hard, but neither of them are interested on 2 this time. Requiring now over 10 runs to the over, and that is the big problem. Suffering from the same deficiency a little bit as the Dragons, where the middle period of their batting order really struggled on making accelerated run scoring happen. Moore almost taking off Valentine Kitima with that shot, but there's cover in the long off.
Yes, another
There we
single
go. When I
to
said dot here,
that total,
Sen.
and
When I said dot here.
I think that was
Rate
the
is
message.
going up
It
here,
was,
boys. 10.3s here.
take us deep, give us a chance.
10.3s
Try
here,
and let's try
boys.
not lose as many wickets with some rash shots. But if the opportunity presents itself, you got to put it away.
Oh, that's lovely.
Kitima is really struggling out there. Surely the Dragons won't mind bowling him to him as frequently as possible. He's 15 from 17. That sees the end of over number 12. The Western Province, they need 85. The balls they need to score it at are 48.
Yes.
Like we've been saying, not really the greatest chasing team this season on the Western Province. Only successfully chasing 1, having 1 tie, and then losing the rest.
Yes, and it's been a stop-start season. It started off well, but they faded. And to a certain extent, you kind of get a sense of why they faded. This batting lineup has just lost David Bedingham, who left and went to Kent. And to a certain extent, the other batters around them haven't actually found their feet in T20 outside of Calverena, and it's been quite a tough season for them, to say the least.
And the thing is, right at the top, David Bedingham was so instrumental in being the enforcer, the catalyst of run scoring. He was not the David Bedingham you saw in New Zealand with the white stuff and the red ball. He was something different, really attacking, beautiful to watch. And it's a shame the Western Province have lost him.
No, it is a shame, and to a certain extent, he's really important to South African cricket, even at the Proteas level as well.
Wamanya Clay, getting it to rise a little bit. Unsure of that shot from Eddie Moore, looked a little bit uncomfortable. Dragons don't mind that though, just a single.
That has run 250 in this year's CSA T20 challenge for Eddie Moore. He is the leading run scorer in this Western Province side. He came into this game with 203 runs. Now he's got 47, so that puts him up there. He's still a couple of runs away from the top 5 run scorers in this competition, but he can still catch them tonight if he takes Western Province to victory.
Wouldn't it be beautiful if he does that? And it's going to be a heartbreak again for the Dragons, where they look like they seemingly have the upper hand and let it slip. Big shot! Big shot! 2 people under it, but they just watch it sail over the fence. Big hit! Valentine Gidime gets 6 runs.
Okay, Valentine, we see you. He got underneath that ball really well. He waited for it. He understood that the ball wasn't going to come quickly to him, and so it just worked out for him perfectly for him to get underneath that and launch it over the long boundary. Not many have scored a 6 from there to that boundary, and he is the first.
Gave it a full swing, didn't he? Full pivot on the back foot. Oh, takes it on straighter this time. Isn't that gorgeous stroke play from Valentine Gidime for 4 runs?
Well, I guess the message was Valentine needed to be aggressive and for Eddie Moore to play the anchor role for this innings. And Valentine has come through with 2 great balls. He gets a short one that he pulls, and then the next one he gets a half volley that he manages to get underneath, and he plays the straightest of straight bat shots over the bowler's head.
Shot of bravery on a surface that seems to have the ball sticking onto it and not really coming onto the bat. Valentine Gidime is rewriting the script here.
Another big over incoming here in Bendulo.
Ooh, going for a wild swing this time, beaten by it.
As it was beaten by it. Valentine Gidime's last high score. This is his high score in this CSA T20, and it is his high score in all T20s. He's on his way there. His high score in all T20s is 29, but this season his high score is 20. He's now surpassed that, and he's on 25.
One of those situations where stats don't tell the true story of the quality of player. Gidime slipping this time, hitting himself out of balance. They try for run number 2. Mikhail Prince not collecting the ball and allowing for the second run to happen again for the Dragons.
Oh, misfields. Next week, the Dragons fielding sessions are going to be quite tense with a lot of ground fielding, because tonight they haven't covered themselves in glory. End of that over, 84 for 3. This partnership has now gone to 44, and now the Western Province needs 72 to win or 42 balls. If you look at the Western Province card, Dezozi was out for cheap, Carl Verena out for not so much, John O'Bird out for not so much, but it is Valentine Gidime who hasn't had that many opportunities, who's stepping up, 27 of 21, and Eddie Moore.
Here you go, Seno. Here you go, boy.
Resurgence, the re-emergence of Eddie Moore as the T20 batter continues.
Reverse sweep, but this time straight to Gideon Peters. He almost fell trapped to that a couple of overs ago. He's been playing great shots as Valentine Gidime, classic cricket strokes, and the one that was a little bit inventive is played by Eddie Moore and finds the top edge, and he is being dismissed by Mutusami.
He's been trying that shot for a couple of overs to Mutusami, and the one time he gets good contact, he finds Gideon Peters on the circle, and as he says goodbye to Eddie Moore, and another blow for the World Sports Betting Western Province, which brings in the experience of George Linder at 6.
The thing is, apart from that 22 run over, it really struggled afterwards, Eddie Moore. Getting singles, getting twos, but that big striking that we've just seen from Valentine Gidime didn't come from Eddie Moore, losing his wicket, opening up for a chance of a new batter to try strike, and George Linder comes in at number 6. They still have Juan James and the very electrifying Kyle Simmons. And boy, oh boy, can Simmons clear the fence.
Yes, George Linder can bat. He strikes it at 131 in all T20s. He has over 1,846 runs in T20 cricket, but for the Western Province this year, he's only scored 117 runs at a strike rate of 107 with a 46 as his high score.
Nice,
Starting off well is
Nice,
Mutusami, renowned for his economy, lower than 7 runs to the over, which is quite brilliant. But aren't left arm spinners such an asset in T20 cricket?
10.7, yeah, lads. 10.7, yeah.
Asset. And Mutusami is just
Gotta make a play.
one who suffered under the fact that he was playing under another dramatic run there from Western Province, but Mutusami struggled playing under Prenlin Subrian and Keshav Maharaj in Durban. He moved over to
Lovely to see that, Seno.
Potchefstroom.
Good from you, this.
He's done really well for them this season. Or well, the last 2 seasons actually.
One!
Just coming in and getting a big leadership role and being captain
Vian!
shows also that it's not just the skill that he has, but the mindset and
Thank you,
attitude,
Vian.
because
Good
you don't
job.
just become a cricket captain. It's a big thing to lead a team, and it's a team of youngsters, a mixture of youngsters
Seno. Top
and
of off, yeah.
experience,
Top of
and
off,
he
yeah.
has it in his hands, Mutusami.
Oh!
Looking to go big, getting mistimed, almost getting themselves into trouble. The fans are saying, Van Donder, why didn't you throw?
Let's pick composure, Joe.
Here comes the fun part of the game. Risks are going to be taken.
pressure, yeah.
It's going to be
Big
no,
pressure, yeah.
yes, yes, no, no, yes,
Big
yes.
moment this,
Good
yeah.
calling is going to be required here if Western Province are going to get over the line.
One!
Just following the bowler, following the batter. But again, it's another spill up. This is a big problem now. It's getting quite worrying for the Dragons because they keep on giving away these small, tiny runs. And over the course of 120 deliveries, they will accumulate.
And if they lose this game, they're going to look at those missed fields, those ground fields, as the reason as to why they didn't get it through. This target is well defendable, but the issue was they haven't covered their central glory in their ground fielding and also their air fielding. Remember, Eddie Moore was dropped on 0. He departed on 48. Valentine Kitime is still out there. He's looking really good for them. And it's they'll be looking at themselves, feeling like they've let themselves down if they don't get over the line. If the Dragons don't get over the line.
Here comes Gideon Peters, who wants to take it over the line, get another wicket. You break into yet another deeper trench of the batting lineup. George Linder is on strike. Can hit a bit of a big one. With pace coming on from Peters as well. He drives it. And again, those spills. It's getting ridiculous. More runs given away from the Dragons' poor fielding. It's 4 runs.
It's not a good display of fielding here from the Northwest Dragons. They just keep Western Province in the game, not with their bowling, but with their fielding. That shouldn't have been a 4. That should have just only been a 1.
What a deep contrast between the two. Shouldn't even have been a 1, because would have been a shy at the stumps, would have problematic. Just 3 runs.
Truly disappointing. The run rate required is still in their favour. Western Province need 11. The country going at 6.5. They know they need more boundaries. Freebies like that will help a lot.
Oh, superb. Taking into his own hands as Gideon Peters.
Dot balls are collecting. Dot balls are what the Dragons need. Good ball there from Gideon Peters.
They need 63 from 35. They are 17 runs away from that DLS pass score. Peters is bowling brilliantly. That delivery, brilliant length.
That was just extra bounce.
Whiffing at it there, just George Linder. Again! Rinse, wash, repeat. This is exactly what you want. Gideon Peters not changing the formula.
Too quick. Just too quick. I've been impressed by the accuracy of Gideon Peters, especially in this format. He's bowled within himself. He's bowled really well. He's bowled fast, and that's what you want guys to do. You don't want them to drop in pace because they want to be accurate. You want them to bowl as fast as possible, but attempt to be accurate. He's done that really well today.
Oh, thick outside edge. No one is there. It's not fine enough. Goes for 4 runs. Again, good bowling. Bravery from Linda.
Yes, that was a good shot from George Linder. He realizes that he just needs to lift his hands a little bit more, wait for it a little bit, and let the pace take it to the boundary. And he did that really well. Great uppercut there from George Linder. Just have a look at that. Just, playing as late as possible and play it. There's no fielder in the ring there, so it's a safe shot.
Opening himself wider this time. Gideon Peters drops it a little bit shorter, denying the same shot from George Linder.
Western Province asking the umpire if that ball could be considered a wide. The square leg umpire has not moved. Valentine Kitime did have a bit of a discussion with the standing ump. 60 needed to win of 31 balls. It's becoming more of a mathematical exercise now for Western Province.
Slower delivery. Good sound of the bat of George Linder. So good was the hit that there was no chance of 2 even in the longest boundary, which ends over number 15. There are now 30 balls remaining. Needing to score at nearly 2 runs per delivery are the Western Province in order to win this game. They are on 98 for the loss of 4.
With 5 overs to go, Western Province need 59 more runs to win, and that's going to be quite intriguing to watch. In head-to-heads since the start of the new franchise system, Northwest have never beaten Western Province in a T20 game. Could tonight be the night? Captain Senwan Mutusami getting ready to bowl his final over. He's gone for 1 for 15. Been the star of this game, and as we speak about that, George Linder says thank you very much. Good night. It's a 6.
Nearly leaving this ground. The neighbors next door almost got themselves a souvenir, courtesy of George Linder. Massive strike for 6.
Yeah, it's a good way to start the over. They know they need to go at 12 an over. Half volley, and he picked it up like nothing.
Bowling it in the arc. Need to be so careful of where you land the delivery at this back end of the innings.
Now they need 52 to win off 29 balls.
They got to keep
The
this going,
required
boys.
run
We
rate
can change it on again, yeah.
It's 10.8. It's still within reach. They need a big over, Western Province. They'll know they need a big over. They've started off well with a boundary. So you can take this over 10 to 12 to 15. You've got a good start here with the 6.
Another one's around the corner.
Lots of pressure on Mutusami.
Onesie.
And it's an easy one. They played out to the leg side. Another fumble. This time Reina Fantonda's fumbling.
Fumbling the ball backwards, fumbling the ball forward, fumbling the ball sideways, and dropping deliveries. I say this not as an insult, but as things that have actually happened here, and which is why Western Province are actually in this game. It's a real concern at this level.
Yes, 104 for 4.
1.
They're going to be looking for a 2 on this one.
No, Skippy.
No, but George Linder says no. I think George's plan here, his orders are to try to find the boundary as much as possible, break the back of this chase with a few more boundaries. 8 off this over so far, 3 more to go. Full toss. He'll be disappointed with that. That should have been in the stands.
That is the gift that you just want to receive at this end of the innings, especially from a bowler of the quality of Mutusami. Disappointed, surely, that he couldn't get that away.
Sure. A little bit of interesting words, choice words from Ruben Hadman, who had to run down the wicket to give his wicketkeeper his captain the ball. It's a wide ball. It's going to give the fielder at square leg. Not at square leg, a deep point, I beg your pardon. A chance. There was a fumble, but only a single. Kitime wanted the 2. Linda sent him back. So 10 runs off is over with 2 to go. Pressure now slowly moves over to Western Province. They might need a boundary here from these next 2 balls.
1.
And all George Linder can do is find the fielder at long on for a single.
Hunting for it, hunting for those boundaries. But just like the Dragons struggled, so are the Western Province. Valentine Kitime was able to just let loose a little bit, but it seems as if he hasn't been on a strike for too long as Valentine Kitime.
Yes, that's the end of the over. It's 109 for 4. Our World Sports Betting Western Province. 4 to go, 11.8 needed. They need 47 of 24. Almost 12 runs and over. Look at the bowling. It's been Gideon Peters 2 for 19, Cohen Mangru with 1 for 9. Senran Mutusami finishes his 4 with 1 for 27. You'll take that any day if you are the fielding captain. Now the question is, who do you go to for the final 4 overs? There's probably 1 over for Mangru. There's 2 for Deswat and probably 1 for Peters to close it out. Here's Ruan Deswat coming from the university end. That's up, hit hard. There's a fielder there, and Captain Mutusami does the job as the breakthrough. It is George Linder. He had to go for it, and he dies by the sword. And it's Deswat and Mutusami combination again.
Mutusami taking another brilliant catch, this time running to his left and then diving forward, adding another twist to his already fantastic catch earlier on in the match. Leading from the front is the captain, saying that you can all spill, but let me show you how it's done. It is wicket number 5 gone. George Linder looking to go big, but as we said, Ruan Deswat will take wickets and be caught out on the outfield.
It's a tough catch to make, but he made it look so easy. Going down to your left-hand side, making sure it comes, and you're also falling. So you must make sure that your contact with the ground is secure enough, and he did that really well. And so, this chase for World Sports Western Province, World Sports Betting Western Province, now goes down to the 2 youngsters. The current or the recent SA Under-19 captain, Juan James, is in the middle with a former SA Under-19 player the previous year, Valentine Kitime. Kitime is obviously on 32 of 25. He's played really well tonight. Can Juan James support the other youngster in this team to get the Western Province over the line? I know many will think that Northwest have it in the bag, but we've seen them lose games from this position before. It's not over yet. No, that's going down leg for all those who are wanting to shout and complain to the umpire.
I have to say, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't bring up Carl Simmons. Carl Simmons just goes out there and he smashes it out the park. It's the moment where you need someone to do that.
I hear you, but this is also an important learning moment for the youngsters. And if they can take them home, it'll give them so much more experience.
You have to win games, Mpho. You have to win games. Your semi-final spot is up for grabs. It's under pressure, and Carl Simmons knows the pressure of the SA T20. He knows the pressures of big competition.
But you've got to back your youngsters, and this is the moment where you back your youngsters.
I disagree with you, Mpho.
I love it.
You need to bring a player who's going to take it home.
And George James can do it. He's done it for SA Under-19. He can do it here. Pull shot to the deep. That fielder at square leg, his line was looked a little suspect, but he manages to defend the 2 runs on the boundary. So it's been a wicket, 2 dots, and now 2 runs. Mutusami will be happy with that.
Swiveling on that back foot, there's Juan James being surprisingly rushed from Ruan Deswat with that little extra bounce. Following him as well as he's trying to open up the room, but the ball follows him. Good fielding from Mikhail Prince, who's also been pretty good out on the field.
Juan James looking to get some medical attention now as you see the staff coming on. It looks like it's either a hamstring or a calf. Something's probably gone. But let's have a look. It's Nelson for 5, 1-on-1 for 5. Auto Investment Dragons are in this. The Western Province, World Sports Betting Western Province, need 45 of 20 to win. This innings has been a stuttering one for World Sports Betting Western Province. 47 of 40 from Eddie Moore. He had an incredible over of 26 runs of 22 runs from his bat. Valentine Gitima giving us some lusty blows, 32 not out of 25. George Linda came with a few boundaries, 20 of 14. Calvarena 5 of 11, but it might not be enough as they need 45 of 20, and that's now slowly creeping up to 13 and a half and over. Pendula, from a bowling perspective, the Dragons have done well.
It's looking really difficult now for the Western Province. A spread of wickets between the bowlers. Bamanya Kleinle just going a little bit too expensive. Vian Lerba, I doubt we'll be seeing him come back again. But you did give us the spread of the overs and how they might be distributed. Gideon Peters, Kerwin Mangru, and even Kleinle as well.
Yes, it's going to be quite interesting. Let's hope John James is fit enough to continue that hamstring. A tight hamstring is not the best thing to do when you've got all that padding and everything around your legs to run in between, especially on as large ground as this, where twos will be important, because if you can't get a boundary, you need to get runs. You can't afford to get dot balls now at this stage in the game. Dot balls is effectively like adding on probably half a run onto your run rate going forward now. So you really need to be, these two need to be cognizant of that, and that's why I say it's a learning moment. They need to understand the pressure, and if it's a first chance for us to see if they can handle the pressure and be able to take their team to victory. If they can, it bodes well for Western Province cricket and also South African cricket if these two can get through. So it's quite an important for 3 and a bit overs, 3 overs and two balls. Here comes the swat to James. There's a dot ball, and with that, it's a wide, so it will be played again. It's now 112 for 5.
Surprising that was called wide.
Yes, yeah, it was. Unlucky there for Rwanda Swat, but Western Province will take the runs whichever way it comes. Oh, that's gone past the fielder in the ring. Can Mikhail Prince make it home? He can't. It's 4 runs for Juan James as Western Province get a much needed boundary there to close out this over while there's 1 ball left, and it's now turned this over from a 2-run over to a 7-run over, which is really important, and that run rate has gone down from 13.2 to now 12.6. So you can see the value of boundaries and runs in this. Mikhail Prince is now injured there on the boundary. So today, the true champions today have been the medical staff of both teams. They have done an incredible job and a thankless job in getting the players ready to play and getting them going. And so we're probably going to get another stoppage unless if they get a substitute fielder on for Mikhail Prince, who is not going to come on. So Northwest will need to get a substitute fielder. Gave Western Province an opportunity to bring on the gloves and also a message.
Ron de Swart, the man who's bowling, also was a victim when he got hit on the elbow. So props indeed to the medical staff.
Here's another opportunity for 2 to end out that over. So now this over's worth 9, which is quite important for Western Province. They were staring down a barrel of a very good Ruan de Swart over, but the final 3 balls have given them some sort of a lifeline. They need 38 now to win off of 18 balls. It's not impossible.
It's very possible.
It's going to come down to who manages the pressure better. And speaking about youngsters and newbies, Gideon Peters is making his debut in the CSA T20 Challenge Division 1 for Northwest, is now being entrusted with the 18th over.
He's been bowling fantastically as Gideon Peters, taking his 2 wickets in his very first over. Valentine Gidim has been off strike for quite a long time, so it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to come back. Don't know if that rhythm he had 3 overs ago when he started going at it still there.
The fielders on the ring, outside of the ring, are square on both sides, and also fine leg and third man on the boundary. And Kitime pulls this one straight to the fielder at mid wicket on the boundary.
YG.
Just a single.
Good work from Gideon Peters. Really gassy. Feels like the pace surprises the batters actually.
This is the moment where singles hurt your cause as much as you would think they help you. Run rate's now jumped up to 13.1 from 12.6.
Lot of pressure on John James here now.
Need a boundary early in this over. Oh, magnificent block hole ball. Great Yorker from Gideon Peters. It's resulted in a single, but I don't think anybody here who supports the Northwest will be mad at that. Beautiful bowling. Followed the batter and delivered a perfect Yorker.
Regardless of whether he stood his ground and swung his bats or whether he moved, a York outside the off stump is one of the most difficult deliveries to play, and so it was shown there.
13.5 runs per over needed now. That's up in the air. Deep mid wicket is coming down. Catch! Northwest Dragons can sniff it now. They can smell that W as Valentine Kitime is out for 33 of 27 balls.
A catch in the outfield. Ruan Deswart telling everyone to stay back. I got this. And clearly, the Valentine Kitime rhythm that got him to 33 simply dissipated as he was starved of the strike. As seen from that shot, normally would go for 6 if he had that rhythm, and this time it just went away. Losing it after a while played 33, and now it's really difficult to see the Western Province come back in unless if the man walking in now, Kyle Simmons, is able to do something about it.
Yes, you're getting to the point now where you're trying to figure out how many boundaries you need with the balls remaining. Western Province would need about 9 boundaries, 9 fours, in order for them to win. So that's the maximum number of boundaries that they need in order for them to win this game. Obviously, if you get 6s, you get less. So you've got 15 balls left. They need 9 boundaries to get these 36. It's becoming that type of an equation now in cricket, because obviously got Kyle Simmons, he can hit boundaries. So this is the equation that Mutusami is looking at. 15 balls. We need to try figure out how we can bowl 7 balls that don't get a boundary.
It's going to be so crucial because those 7 deliveries in between, if they do get those singles, they lessen the amount of boundaries that they actually have to score.
But a single still doesn't take you over the line. You'll still need the 9 boundaries to get you on. So if you take 4 singles, you've already, find yourself put yourself in an even deeper hole. The new batter trying to find his feet, getting Peters, getting a much needed dot ball. 14 balls left. They still need 36. That run rate is rocketing up now to 15.4 and over. We actually need to let go of that run rate. It's now how many boundaries that can they score. They can still win this game. They just need 9 boundaries. Where are they going to come from?
Has to clear the boundary some way or the other eventually.
Oh, Cal thought he could cut it. Great stop from Ruben Herman, and they'll take the single due the Western Province. The Dragons won't be mad at that. Another great over from Gideon Peters. He's taken 3 wickets for 22 runs with 1 ball left in his spell. He has been a revelation. He's been sensational tonight. It's been a great exhibition of fast bowling from him.
so much power, passion as well. His wicket celebrations have been amazing. He's been celebrating wickets of his partners as well.
Oh, great fielding from Bamanye Kegme. He's had a tough night, but that's a great one. And his teammates recognize him for that. And that ends Gideon Peters' spell. Take a bow, young man. 3 for 23. You have truly put up a performance worthy of man of the match.
Fantastic bowling. From the first delivery, he showed that he's here. And with his last delivery to close off his spell shows you that indeed he was here. Phenomenal bowling in his first outing for his team, and the beautiful thing is having the whole team and the whole fan, which has grew to a decent number here at JB Marks Oval, is all behind you.
It's a party here at JB Marks Oval as the crowd are smelling a comeback from this Northwest side. They were disappointing on Sunday against the Dolphins with them losing. But now Ruan de Swart to Juan James. Down the leg side, that's a wide. They were disappointing, especially when they had the Dolphins against the ropes to lose that game. Finally, they can bring out something. They haven't even beaten the Western Province in a T20 before. It's been all losses, so this would be an incredible win for them. Their first ever win. Here comes a dot ball, and the crowd is cheering it. Crowds become very knowledgeable right now. And here's another stat for the World Sports Betting Western Province. They've only had one win in botch in 8. And the win was against the Northwest Dragons last season. So it's not a happy hunting ground for Western Province to come down here to Potchefstroom. I don't know how that missed. I really don't know how that missed. That's a beautiful ball. Slower ball from Ruan de Swart. Disguised everything. And Juan James couldn't do anything about that. And unfortunately for the youngster, he's going to have to... He's struggling in this moment, but it's going to take a lot of learning from it, and he'll come back better for it. But tonight, the Northwest have been better. Here comes the single. They're going to look for 2. They're going to have to look for 2. Vian Libber with the throw in. Really good throw.
2, 3, 3.
Score goes up to 1, 2, 5 for 6.
Does well here, Ruan de Swart. Started very waywardly with his first delivery, but is reeling it back now. Wants to close off strong in his final 3 deliveries of what has been a good spell from him.
That's up in the air. It's gonna be a 6. It's a boundary much needed. We weren't expecting it, but Juan James clears his front leg and gets his team back in it. The total now goes to 25 needed off of 8.
Close, close, close. It's going slower. Ruan de Swart just giving it away, but rather Juan James making it happen. Look at how much room he offered himself. The only thing there from Ruan de Swart was maybe a little bit too full and allowing it to be a half volley.
And here's another 6, which is going to be dealing in 6s here. Back-to-back 6s for Juan James. He's come alive at the end. He's giving his team a little bit of hope. If ever was that door that was shutting, he's opening up slowly and slowly for the World Sports Betting Western Province. It's been an expensive over for Ruan de Swart, conceding 12 rounds of the last 2 balls. But look at that, Mpendulo.
It's falling apart slowly and slowly here for the Western Province, or rather for the Northwest Dragons. Ruan de Swart again struggling to close off his spells. Had the same problem against the Dolphins where he bowled well firstly and then couldn't close it off. And here again, giving Juan James hittables.
So now we're in the round where they just now only need 5 boundaries and they've got 7 balls left. Oh, he's cut it over the keeper and it's going to race away for 4. It's not over yet, and it's been a tough over for Ruan de Swart. He's conceded conceded 18 runs in this over. And it's been truly, truly tough going for him. But Juan James coming through, stepping up for his team as the young man, and he's putting out with a lot of creativity.
It's phenomenal batting rather from Juan James. Making me eat my words here, Paul, that maybe the youngster is the one capable of taking it home. 28 from 13 deliveries. Man, has he turned it up and made it very close for the Western Province.
So now the equation is simple. 15 runs needed off of 6 balls. Cohen Mangru hasn't bowled since the 5th over of the match, and now he's being asked by his captain to close it out. He would have wanted a lot more runs for him to defend the final over, but it's 15 now. We've seen 15 is not impossible, and Carl Simmons can hit a long ball, and now we've just seen Juan James do the same. And Juan James now is on 28 of 13, Simmons 1 of 2.
Thing is, Cohen Mangru has only given away 9 runs in his 3 overs. It's going to take something really good.
Crowds in this as well. Final over begins now. And it's a dot ball from Cohen Mangru. Woo! The crowd goes wild.
The exact start that he needed. This is what they want. Continuing. What do you mean he just bowled 14 overs ago? Still running from that rhythm.
It's that experience. It's not over yet. 3 lusty blows wins it for Western Province. Oh, short arm jab to the fielder at long on. Take care of the ball. And they do so, just resulting in a single. A single.
Gotta love the crowd here. They are really backing their bowler. They want this victory to come because it will send them even closer to that semi-final spot.
Yes, a win today brings them 4 points, closes the gap between them and Western Province to 4 points, just 1 win. In their hunt for a semi-final spot, it'll move them to 5th position depending on what happens in the Titans game currently going on in Centurion. 14 needed of 4 balls, and it's Juan James. Lots of field placings going on. There's a fielder in the deep at mid-wicket. There's also fielders on the offside. Here comes Cohen Mangru. He gives himself room, but it's a dot ball. It's a dot ball. Now it's running away from Western Province because now the equation is simple. It's 6, 6, and a boundary to take us home.
The crowd are definitely into this now. They are cheering every single delivery. It must not get to Juan James's head because, man, he's been doing a great job for the Western Province.
Mangru into James. It's wide. Umpire. Nothing. It's a dot ball. And the crowd appreciates that as now only an extra, a no ball or a wide, will bring Western Province into this game. 14 needed of 2 balls.
All that Mangru needs to do is give 2 legal deliveries. If history tells us with how he's bowling today, that will definitely be a possibility. They need a 6 from Juan James, the Western Province.
There we go. And another dot ball. 3 in a row. And the crowd. It's going to be a party night here in Potchefstroom. The bars are going to be filled. The Dragons are producing another win for their beloved home faithful.
Oh, the crowd are having a good one for the type of cheers they've been bringing. They deserve a win. They deserve something to cheer. And Cohen Mangru has been bowling well. Just 1 more legal delivery and it will be over.
And, we're going to have to bowl that again. It's not over yet. It's a wide. It's a wide.
Much better.
Cohen Mangru dampening the celebrations. Everyone was ready to jump up and down and scream and shout. But we have to wait for one more ball.
It's much more better to bowl that wide now than to bowl it at the beginning of the over.
Yes. And here we go. Final ball of the innings. And it is a win. It is win number 3 for the Northwest Dragons, who move into 5th position in the CSA T20 log. It is their first win against Western Province in the T20 competition, and you could say it's sweet revenge for that one-day cup loss that they had in the final against the Northwest, against Western Province. That means the gap between the teams is now 4 points, and that 4th position in the CSA T20 challenge is alive and well. Cohen Mangru 1 for 12. Gideon Peters 3 for 23. It's been one of the most impressive bowling performances you'll ever see in this competition this year, and well done after a harrowing loss against Dolphins for them to come back on Friday and do the job that they did today. Well done to Northwest.
Fantastic work for the home team. Been struggling, had their big struggles against the Western Province. Given their batting performance, now you can see the values of finding 1s and 2s whenever you can, if you cannot find the 4s and 6s. They win by 11 runs, a hard, grueling match for both teams, and you can just see the disappointment from the Western Province players as they go for the shake.
It's a harrowing loss for Western Province, who could have gone more than 12 points away from the Northwest Dragons, but now they've got these 2 teams behind them, the Titans and the Dragons, who are fighting for that 4th semi-final spot, because that's what it means. You got to make the playoffs in order for you to win this tournament, and Northwest is making a charge now to go through. Their next game for the Northwest will be at the DP World Wanderers on Sunday against the Lions. They'll be hoping to make it 2-2, while the Western Province go back home to host the Dolphins on Sunday. It's been a really intriguing match with the Dragons scoring 155 for 8. We didn't think it was enough, but boy, was it enough. That Western Province innings, Eddie Moore 47 of 40, Valentine Kitime 33 of 27, John James 27 of 19, but it was the bowling of Gideon Peters 3 for 23, Cohen Mangru 1 for 12 off of his 4 overs. He's gone for 3 runs and over, and Senran Mutusami 1 for 27. It's been an impressive display here from the Auto Investment Dragons, who win by 11 runs and keep their hopes of a semi-final berth alive.
It's been a great fixture that we had here at the JB Marks Oval. The lights are coming off, the covers are coming on, but the competition continues. SuperSport, your World of Champions, on their YouTube channel and on DStv will continue bringing you the CSA T20 challenge. Stay tuned. We have been here at the JB Marks Oval, where the Auto Investment Northwest Dragons take an 11-run win. It's been myself, Pendulo Makubane, alongside Mpo Mutwane, bringing you this broadcast of the CSA T20 challenge. See you again next week.